people.
Hello, everybody. Oh, too loud, too loud, too
no.
loud.
Oh, no.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Battleground Games Live. Hopefully you can hear me over the raucous crowd below. Welcome to Battleground Games and Hobbies in Abington, Massachusetts during our Theros Beyond Death pre-release event.
Yeah.
Battleground Games and Hobbies, for those of you unfamiliar with us, welcome.
Hi.
We are a friendly local game store in the greater Boston, Massachusetts area with 3 convenient locations. One up in Saugus on Route 1, one down in Norton by the Xfinity Center, and one here in Abington that has a convenient loft from which we can stream. And that's what we do every Friday at 7:30. We get together and play different games, mostly board games.
Mostly board games. Some card games.
Yep.
Or card-based board games we have played in the past.
Yeah, we were playing Just One 2 weeks ago, which
That's
is
right.
great.
That's right.
It's
Just One is fantastic. That's a great party game. I would like to obtain a copy to live at the library that I work at, actually.
Not a bad idea.
I just want to buy a copy
Yeah.
and have it because I think it would make a great one to pull out whenever we need a casual party sort of game for an event.
So anyhow, hi, I'm
Hi.
Andrew. Welcome.
Hi,
And
Andrew.
this is,
Amanda. Hi. I'm
and
usually
it's
here.
just the two of us right now. We do have a third person on his way, but apparently traffic is kind of snarled.
Our buddy John is on his way, but he is trapped in traffic right now. There was apparently an accident on the highway, so he is en route.
Yeah. Luckily,
We're here.
the game that we chose to play today can be played with 2 players. In fact, it's
Magic
mostly
the
played.
Gathering.
I've never heard of that game. What is it?
It's a card game where you play as a Planeswalker, a being that can control magical energy and cast spells and summon creatures to your aid in different worlds.
I'm being facetious, of course. I've played an awful lot of Magic, and so has Amanda. Magic is actually what brought us to Battleground.
Seriously, that is a basic description of what Magic is. So
Well, that's the flavor, yeah.
Yeah, if your knowledge of Magic is just it's that card game that people get kind of obsessive about, Magic
With
is,
like the cards that sell
Yeah.
for hundreds of thousands of
with
dollars.
stupid expensive cards. Magic is a game where you collect cards. They come in random booster packs, which we have a couple of boxes of, so we're gonna open some cards.
Yee, that's my favorite part.
So if you haven't seen the documentary Trekkies, highly recommend it. But there is a bit in Trekkies where a couple of kids are opening Star Trek collector cards,
I
and
don't even remember that.
it's during like the convention
Yeah.
scenes, and it's a couple of kids sitting on a stairway, like on a big broad staircase, in a convention center. Hey, Lobster.
Hello,
Revenge.
Lobster of Revenge. Thank you for the doggy bits.
And one of them says, "Yeah, I always love opening these. Every time it's kind of like Christmas." And I was
That's
like,
exactly what it is.
"You guys are adorable. I love you, little bitty Trekkies." But the booster packs are largely random. Every once in a while, Wizards will put out some sort of special supplementary product.
Oh, I should have brought my goblins. Oh well.
That has a set of cards that you're going to open. And there are certain, certain things that will be in each pack. So there's always going to be a rare or mythic rare card. There's always going to be, 3 uncommons?
Yep.
And the rest are going to be commons. There may be a token. There may be a junk card. That's
Maybe
just
a
an
foil.
ad. There may be something in foil. You're going to get a land in most sets boosters. Some sets boosters, the land has been replaced with something else because they're like premium products, and they figure if you're buying premium products, you probably have more lands than you know what to do with. But for the most part, the random boosters are random within a certain pool of cards. And then you get certain constructed products like Planeswalker Decks. So mostly you have to build your deck yourself. You're going to collect your cards, and then you're going to put a deck together based on the rules of whatever format you want to play it in, or if you're playing kitchen table Magic, whatever you want.
Yeah. We have a lot of folks who do that in the store.
Super casual.
When people are starting out with Magic, that is frequently what happens. They get a collection from a relative or something, and they've just got this massive pile of cards.
Of like random sets of cards.
Yeah.
Because there are all sorts of different formats that have rules based on like what rarity you can use. So like Pauper.
Yep.
It has to be commons. There's rules about how many cards you can have of a certain type, and then there's rules of what sets you can use to build your deck. So standard is like the newest cards, and going back a couple of sets, and then there's Pioneer.
Yep.
There's
Brawl, which uses the same card set as standard, but it's a singleton format.
So it's sort of like Commander, where you can only have one card of any given type in your deck. And how you put those decks together very much changes based on the format that you're using. Then you have pre-constructed formats. So you have this Planeswalker deck. We have 2 of these.
Yep, Amanda has Ashiok.
I have Ashiok. Ashiok uses blue and black cards to do really nasty stuff.
And I have Elspeth, who, when last we saw her, was thrown into the underworld.
She was dead.
Yeah, she was basically dead.
Yeah, weird.
But, death is not the end in Magic.
She's back.
So she's clawing her way back out. That's what, beyond death is. She's coming back.
Theros had a very Greek and Roman mythology flavored theme to it. Magic will often draw on certain flavors and themes for their worlds. This one is definitely Greek and Roman mythology. We had one recently that was more Mesoamerica, but also had pirates and dinosaurs, which was
and vampires.
And vampires.
Conquistador vampires. Yeah.
So that was fun. We had an ancient Egypt themed set that I thought was beautifully flavorful. We've had a sort of semi-India themed, but also themed more around the idea of invention and being able to create things, which was really neat. Hey, Pi, we are definitely going to be planeswalking.
We have not seen you, I think mostly because we've been closing up shop early.
Yeah.
And you haven't been. So welcome. It's good to see you, Pi.
Good to see you, Pi. So yeah, I'm going to be playing Ashiok. Ashiok doesn't have a face.
Yeah.
Doesn't have all of a face. Ashiok has a mouth, and then it's just a hollow.
With horns.
Here.
Yeah.
Yeah, the face sort of curves up into horns at about the cheekbone level. And then it's just billowing black smoke from, like, the philtrum up. Yeah, you've had a lot going on. I know.
So, Amanda, yes, you're playing Ashiok.
I'm playing Ashiok.
The Nightmare Weaver.
Ashiok's not
what does
a
this
nice
particular
person.
Ashiok do?
So this Ashiok has 3 abilities on their card. They come in with 4 loyalty. So Planeswalker cards come in with loyalty. Loyalty is how much they care about you before they abandon you.
That's a good way to put it.
Which is how I've always sort of thought of it. I can add 2 to Ashiok's loyalty by drawing a card from my deck, and then each player in the game puts the top 2 cards of their library into their graveyard. So it's a draw and mill sort of ability. I can take 5 loyalty away by putting target creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under my control.
A graveyard, not your
graveyard. Oh yeah. No,
just
this
totally
Ashiok,
steal my creatures.
This Ashiok wants your dudes to be their dudes.
Yeah.
And minus 11, which means I need to do that plus 2 like 4 times to make that happen. Gain control of all creatures target opponent controls.
Yeesh.
Yeah, Ashiok doesn't want you having any creatures. Ashiok wants those creatures to be in a living nightmare of its control.
Whereas I am playing Elspeth, Undaunted hero.
Elspeth's far nicer.
According to the back of the box, Elspeth is a renowned warrior of surpassing skill and unshakable willpower who has defeated everything from gods to death itself. Build up a battalion of devoted soldiers and lead them fearlessly to glorious victory. So, she is a planeswalker that comes in for 2 and 3 white. It's a mono white deck, I think, so that's probably going to be easier to get to.
Mine's expensive. Mine comes in for 4 blue and a black.
She enters the battlefield with 5 loyalty. For +2 loyalty, put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures. For -2 loyalty, search your library and or graveyard for a card named, it's like her assistant, Sunlit Hoplite, and put it onto the battlefield. If you search your library this way, shuffle it. That makes sense. For -8, so you'd have to +2 twice to get there. Until end of turn, creatures you control gain flying and get +X/+X, where X is your devotion to white.
Devotion.
Yes, devotion is a thing, and I have at least 3 devotion to white because Elspeth has 3 white on her. We'll talk about devotion and stuff. Before we get to that, before we get to opening these up yet, Amanda, I have a present for you.
Andy has a present for me.
You mentioned it was like Christmas. Merry Christmas!
It's a playmat. Ooh. It's the prettiest playmat of all. Though I still love my Cynthia Shepherd.
Yes, well, that's almost unique.
Yeah, it's definitely.
So your playmat is
lesser
known
playmat. So one of the more recent planes that we visited was a plane called Eldraine, which was folktale and Arthurian mythology inspired. And the artwork in Eldraine was unbelievably beautiful. And one of the most beautiful pieces of artwork, and everything going on in this piece of art makes me so happy because there's so much symbolism, and they managed to put the Planeswalker symbol smack in the middle of it.
Yeah, so
it is this king asleep with this spirit here holding him, and you can see the sort of brambles here and his sword over here. He has eaten of the apple, and the castle back here is the Planeswalker symbol, which is the sort of magic overarching symbology.
Yes. I saw that playmat and I was like, Amanda needs that playmat.
So good. This art is amazing. This was like the iconic art from the whole set.
From Throne of Eldraine,
yeah. They had, this was like box art for the, I think it was the bundle had this.
It was on the inside of the bundle wrapping,
art.
So we have that at home because we had a bundle.
Yeah, it's just absolutely beautiful. Does it say who did this art? No, it doesn't. I'll have to look it up. This art is beautiful. And it was definitely one of my favorite. It's hard to pick a favorite piece of art from Eldraine.
Does it not say under where it says Ultra Pro on the right?
Oh, it's Seb McKinnon. Of course it's Seb McKinnon.
Yeah.
I was gonna say maybe it's Seb McKinnon. I didn't wanna jinx it, but no, it's Seb McKinnon. The art from the more recent Magic sets is absolutely breathtaking. I know one of their art directors right now is Cynthia Shepherd, who I just mentioned. She was at a very tiny convention we went to several years ago as just an artist who sometimes did art for Wizards of the Coast. And she had a couple of cards that she had done, and she had like artist proofs that she would sign the back of. And she was.
We got a thumbnail from her.
Yeah, we did. We got a thumbnail done from her on a blank.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got her to sign one of the cards, one of the Dark Ascension cards that she had done. She did a couple of vampires from Dark Ascension. And then I noticed, I was like, wow, I haven't seen Cynthia Shepherd credited with many cards. I feel bad. I hope it's because she got another big project and hasn't been able to take contract work from Wizards. Not that Wizards didn't like her stuff, because her stuff was gorgeous. No, it turns out they had hired her as an art director.
Yeah.
And that's why she hadn't had individual cards.
And the lead-in time on a new project is like 3 years.
3 years, so it was 3 years before I realized,
before she could even say what she was doing.
Yeah, so she's been the art director on a couple of sets now, and she's done wonderful, wonderful work keeping the art feeling like alive and cohesive. So I'm really, really happy that they hired her on as like a full-time person, because her art is amazing and she deserved it. And she was really sweet at the convention. She was a very nice person. She had been working on a painting of a woman being sort of hemmed in by ravens, and she has her hands up.
Amanda?
Yeah.
I'm going to mute us for just a second so that you can reattach your mic. Okay, we're back.
Mic 5 died.
Yeah,
so I had to switch my mic.
No more mic 5.
But yeah, so I love Cynthia Shepard's art. I love what she's been doing as an art director. I love what all the art in Magic has been doing the past couple of years. It's been really, really beautiful. But Eldraine was...
So there you go. Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
All right, so now let's look at what's inside these boxes. These are the Planeswalker boxes, which you can get during the pre-release, even though they don't come out until next Friday.
During a pre-release, you can buy a pre-release pack to play in a pre-release. Yeah, it is on brand for Mike 5. You can buy a pre-release pack, and a pre-release pack has 6 boosters in it that you then open and use to build a small deck, which you then play against other people in the same tournament who have also opened a pre-release pack and built their deck. And some people are, intensely lucky and open amazing things, and some people don't open amazing things. Sometimes even if you open amazing things, they don't synergize well. So you may have opened well and made your money back, but
that's definitely something.
Your deck might not fire off terribly well.
It's taken a long time for me to learn that you don't necessarily want to use.
You don't need to use your rares.
You don't need to use your rares, yeah.
Yeah.
You can build a perfectly good deck with uncommons and commons.
Yeah. If one of your rares is on brand and you can build a deck around synergy with that, then that's cool. But do not try to build around a bunch of janky rares.
But we're not doing the pre-release.
No, we're not.
Because it's going on downstairs.
Yeah, it's happening downstairs.
I may get a chance to play in it tomorrow.
If we were going to do the pre-release, we would be in the tournament pool, which means we would be playing with randomly assigned other people, which might be a little difficult to do up on camera. They may not want to play on camera, so we're not doing that.
So we have these decks, and inside the box, we have a smaller box.
Yep.
That has enough room to hold a 60-card sleeved deck. I've really been impressed that they finally did that.
I'm so pleased that they did that.
You've got your Planeswalker card.
Yep. So
and then you've got 59 other cards, which is a deck. And you have, let's see, how to play Magic on your turn, blocking and attacking. These are important things to know.
That's gorgeous.
We have an arena card that unlocks... I just gave my arena code to the internet.
Yeah,
don't use that arena code, folks. I want to use that to unlock this deck online. But yeah, you get a card with an arena code.
Well, you got to do that as soon as you get home, then. I don't think Pi is going to swipe that deck from you.
No, I don't think Dad or Pi will steal that. So I'm going to start sleeving my deck up.
I'm just looking through my deck to see what's in it.
In general, the Planeswalker decks...
Nightmare Merfolk, so into it.
I mean, that sounds like an Ashiok thing. Ashiok is all about nightmares.
Yeah, but a Nightmare Merfolk? Like...
So I thought what we would do tonight is we'll play these decks against each other. And then we'll open up some packs. We actually, each of these does come with 2 packs of Theros Beyond Death, so we do have packs to open already.
So we're going to do some sleevening.
Yep, we're going to sleeve these decks up,
that's
play them.
The thing. I figured you guys probably wouldn't snipe that deck out from under Andy. How are you doing, Pi? I know it's been a week. It has been a week for a lot of people I know.
Man, yeah.
I have had some friends have some real rough times.
That should be 60 sleeves there. Let's see if I counted right.
My friend Toshi, yeah, we try. My friend Toshi, his parents were visiting relatives in the Philippines this week, where there's a volcano. You know, active, spewing ash. So he had a day when he couldn't reach his parents and didn't know where they were. So, but they're okay. Everyone's fine. They have left the main island. They are no longer on Luzon. They are on another island further away from the volcano, not in the direction that the ash is going. So, and they have an airport they can get out through. So that's good. I am glad your dad is fine. That is terrifying. He was in Puerto Rico during the earthquake. So yeah, like a whole bunch of my friends have been having a really, really cruddy week.
So this is a nice diversion from that.
I myself didn't have like a bad week, but I did have an exhausting
until yesterday.
Week.
That was stressful.
Yeah, yesterday was stressful. So yesterday evening, Andy and I took it upon ourselves to head up to Saugus to visit the Saugus Battleground store, pick up some stuff, drop off some stuff, and after we left, Andy said, you know, I feel like I really should drop this stuff off at Abington
rather than bring it home and have it there overnight.
Yeah. So we said, okay, you know, it extends the trip another like 45 minutes, but let's go ahead and do it just to have it done with. And the trip to Abington from Saugus was fine. But at some point on the trip to Abington from Saugus, something bad happened to my car. And as we pulled out of the Abington lot on our way home, it made very ominous creaking and squeaking and squealing noises anytime we hit a bump or Andy turned the wheel to the left.
Yeah, my theory initially, because we drove over some road construction and there's a lot of construction on stuff going on outside the store. My theory was that a pebble had gotten kicked up and into the shocks and was just grinding away every time we hit a bump. But
nope. So I said, okay, I'm not driving on that any more than I have to tomorrow. So we took it to the mechanic today and had them look at it. It was fortunately a relatively easily fixed problem. You know, we had to pay for it, but you know. So right now I'm driving a terrifying rental. It
makes me feel old. This rental car makes me feel old to drive it.
It does make me feel very old to be driving it. It has like lane assist sensors, and it has a keyless start. And it's not the keyless start that bothers me. That's fine. It's that after I turn it off, there's no like, you know how when you have a key start, there's on, and then there's battery. Engine. Yeah. You know, there's battery, and then there's the ignition, and you can turn the car off and keep the battery on. And that you have to remember to turn it all the way off before you take your key out and go upstairs to your, to your home. This car has a keyless start. So you hold down the brake and push a little button while you have the fob somewhere inside the car. But when you turn it off, you push the same button. But this car doesn't turn off the electrics for like 3 minutes after the fact. So you turn it off, and the lights come up in the car, but the radio's still going, the headlights are still on, everything is still on. And you've turned the car off, and you leave the car and you lock it, and you walk away from it. I parked at like the far end of the lot and walked all the way up, so the fob was nowhere near the car.
Yeah.
And I still waited until the lights turned off before I came into the store. I was like, I don't trust it. Don't trust it. Don't like it. Yeah, it's mine. You open the door to leave it, and you close the door behind you and lock it, and the headlights are still on for like 2 more minutes after that. It's terrifying.
Yeah. Don't
like it. So, guess I'm not, getting one of those cars eventually. Don't like it. Real unpleasant. I just don't trust it. It's meant to see so you can get into your house. But like the radio is still on and stuff. I'm like, I'm not in the car. I'm not in the car. Stop playing music.
So our neighbor, our downstairs neighbor, has a car that turns on randomly.
Yeah.
Like at least twice now.
Yeah,
we've had to go knock on their door because their lights are on in their car. The
radio doesn't turn off. The car is off, but the radio is still playing. If the radio turned off and it was just the headlights, I would be like, oh, it's just a light thing. Like, I know that those weren't on when I came out to the car, so it's fine. It's that everything electric stays on for like another 3 minutes after. And that's very disconcerting to me. But my car is fixed. So we get to pick it up in the morning, which is a relief.
Yep, we'll return the rental.
Well, yeah, we'll return the scary rental. And I will have my baby back. Miss my car.
It's only been a day.
Huh?
It's only been a day.
It's only been a day, but I miss my baby.
Sounds like a lot of people have shown up for this
it does, it's noisy.
pre-release.
It's real weird. The rental also has a couple of definitely like things that the rental company has installed. One of the things that they have that I know for a fact is in there is a sensor that catches speed limit signs and tells you on your dash what your speed limit is.
You think it uses optical recognition, or do you think it uses like Google Maps?
It uses one or the other. I don't know which, but I know that while I was sitting at an intersection that had a visible sign for the cross street, but there was no visible sign for the street I was on within reach, while I sat at the cross at the intersection, it changed my speed limit from 45 to 35, and I had to wait until I passed another sign before it changed back to 45.
Interesting.
So I was like, oh, I'm going to be going the speed limit. It's going to be buzzing at me for going the speed limit because it will buzz at me. It vibrates on my foot if I go 10 miles or more above the speed limit.
Interesting. Haptic feedback.
Yeah. So you're going too fast. Going too fast.
Mustang Sally.
Toshi was telling me about a rental that they had when they were in LA.
Yeah.
That it like forces you to go slower if you hit 85. And in LA, 85 is what you have to be doing to merge onto the highway.
Oh, yeah.
But it will legit shut down the gas.
Lobster has a great question for you. How was the game night at the library?
Great. I had 6 people total. One was a creepy lurker who stood over my shoulder and was weird, but that's his MO anyway.
Yeah.
But if he's going to stand over me and lurk and be creepy and weird, then I'm going to count him towards my statistics and get something out of him. Yeah, don't like people in my personal space that much, especially not strangers, and especially not strangers who have shown themselves to be creepy and weird, which this guy definitely has. But I got to count him for statistics, so whatever. We played Colt Express. I had 3 friends who knew each other show up. And then 2 other women showed up who did not know each other or anyone else and had never met me before, and one of whom has only ever been in my branch once.
And none of these people had played this game before?
None of them had played Colt Express before. So I had 2 options. I had Ticket to Ride Europe and Colt Express. Colt Express I was familiar with. I have never played Ticket to Ride because Ticket to Ride is one of those games that doesn't need my help. People already know it, so I don't need to talk it up. But definitely Colt Express I am familiar with because I love Colt Express. It's one of my favorite games. And I had a wonderful time playing it. We didn't use special abilities.
Okay.
So Colt Express, you know, the characters all
don't forget
have,
to shuffle Ashiok in.
Yeah. All of the characters in Colt Express have special abilities.
Yep.
And I thought, this group has never played before. I think
vanilla,
playing with the special abilities is going to add a level of complexity that I don't want to introduce to this game.
Yeah.
So we played normal. We played without the special abilities. We had a grand time. We had a really good time.
Such a fun game.
I did win. I didn't think I was winning. I only stole 2 things because I was explaining the game and I was like trying to help other people with rules questions.
Yeah.
I wasn't tracking what had already been put down for actions. So there were a couple of rounds, 2 out of the 5 rounds, I totally lost track of where the marshal was and where I was and whether I was going to be on the roof or not. And I was like trying to steal when I was on the roof because the marshal was, you know, coming up, or, you know, I was shooting and didn't have a target.
That's how the game goes. Yep.
So there were like 2 rounds where I basically wasted my entire round. There was another round where I only got 1 action because I had enough bullets in my deck. At that point, I had been shot at enough that there was I had no actions in my hand. I had like 2 actions in my hand. So I had to waste a turn drawing cards.
Yeah.
So I ended up only getting 1 action. So yeah, I had like 3 rounds where I did almost nothing. But I did fire my gun a lot.
That was me when we were playing.
So I ended up getting the $1,000 bonus for having shot the most bullets. And it just so happened that the 1 money bag that I stole, no one ever got my starting initial 250 bag.
Yeah.
And the 1 money bag that I managed to steal was a 500. So I ended up taking it. Not by much though. I only won by like 200.
Yeah.
And everyone else was clustered pretty close below me. So they all had fun. They all enjoyed it. 2 of them mentioned wanting to play it again and wanting to find it and play it themselves. And the 2 women who showed up who didn't know each other or anyone else at the group, they had both just wanted to learn more about board games, like modern, current board games.
Yeah.
And they seemed a little nervous to start. One was kind of elderly. She was a little nervous. It took her a little bit to get used to the cut me, Mick. To sort of get used to how this all works. They both ended up getting the hang of the game very easily, and they had a wonderful time. We did have one funny moment, which it was very well-meaning on the part of one of the other attendees who, you know, I was about to start and be like, you know, let's introduce ourselves, and he was like,
grandmas.
And he goes, do we want to do names and pronouns? And I was like, great, yes, let's do that. So we went around, he was like, hi, I'm so-and-so, I use he, him. And I went next, and I was like, I'm Amanda, and I use she, her. And we went around, and we get to the like older woman who has never been asked for her pronouns. This is a concept that she does not have in her life experience. And she did not get it. She didn't know why you would need to say your pronouns. It just didn't occur to her. And she was very sweet. she was like, my what? And we explained if I was going to say he did this and then she did that, how would I refer to you? And she was like, well, my name is, gave her name, and we were like, yeah, but what if we weren't going to use your name? And she goes, well, I guess if you can't remember my name, then you can use she.
There you go.
Like,
yeah.
Done. So it was sweet. It was very wholesome. She was very nice. So yeah, it was a good time. They're all planning on coming back for next month. We're going to be playing Mysterium or Obscurio, depending on what the group wants to do. So, and if I have enough people, I could run both Mysterium and Obscurio.
Yeah, I'm glad it went well.
It went really well.
Board games, they're fun.
Because I figure Mysterium, you want probably at least 3 players for Mysterium.
Yeah.
Obscurio, though, you can play with 2 players. Like, it specifically has a 2-player mode.
I think it has a solo, doesn't it?
It might.
Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't think it has. I don't think it has solo. But it does have a 2-player mode, and so I figure if someone comes in, because at least one of the players had played Mysterium before, and she was like, "Oh, I love Mysterium," and I was like, "Cool. Maybe you'll play Mysterium, and like I'll run Obscurio for people who want to do that." John's here.
John, welcome. Let's clean up some of this mess.
We haven't even started
you.
playing. We've been chatting and sleeving.
Yeah.
Pre-release.
Pre-release. Yeah.
Yeah, that happens during pre-releases. All right. You'll get to know who's playing in the pre-release downstairs.
I can hear it super well.
Well, Derek is using a mic, so can you hear Derek? Pie and donate a dollhouse to one of your former students who loves the little ones we have at school but didn't have one abroad. I love that. That's very good, wholesome news. Dollhouses are a lot of fun.
Yes.
Quick refresh. These are Greek-inspired this time?
Yes.
Okay. Just making sure I was aware.
Amanda, shall we roll to see who goes first?
Sure.
Oh, we're rolling 1 die.
That's a lot of
Amanda
D6s.
rolled a 5. I rolled another 5.
All right, go.
Amanda rolled a 4. I rolled a 1. Amanda, do you want to go first or do you want to draw?
I will be on the play first.
You guys sleeved everything already. Wow.
Yeah, well.
That's why we haven't started playing yet.
Makes sense.
I love dollhouses. I had a wonderful dollhouse when I was a kid, and my brother loved it so much, but I hated him being in my room and playing with it when I wasn't there because he would mess things up. So my parents got him his own dollhouse that was meant to work with my dollhouse. So I had a dollhouse with a family, and he got a dollhouse that had a general store and an apartment above it that was supposed to be the grandparents' house of my dollhouse family.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So yeah, and I loved his general store, and he loved my dollhouse, so it all worked out.
When I was growing up, and Lobster will confirm this.
Oh my
When I was
goodness.
growing up,
Hello.
my grandfather.
Hey, Nate.
It is
Oh,
totally
hey.
good. Surprisingly, Hall is now one of my favorites that I've gotten to try.
Oh
Hall
yeah.
of the
So
Mountain King was
John
great.
has been playing Hall of the Mountain King, and it's really good.
I really enjoyed it. So, Hall's whole thing is like I've explained it like the Dig Dug game, but it also uses a mechanic. I don't know how new or old it is. The Cascade mechanic, where if you buy a unit, it activates all the units below it. But if the unit already has materials on that unit, the unit does not spawn new materials. So you have to use the materials in one turn, while using the rest of them to build into new things later. It was really a lot of fun.
I got a
I'm gonna
question
definitely
for you,
play it
Andy.
next time.
Yes, Amanda.
I have to.
Right. So now
I
we get to
have
talk
a
about
one land hand.
the London Mulligan.
So yes, let's
So
talk about the mulligan.
The way the London Mulligan works is you will shuffle that back into your deck and draw a new 7-card hand, and then choose 1 card from that hand to put on the bottom of your deck.
Ship to the bottom.
So you start with 6 cards, but you have a little bit of handcrafting.
A little bit of sculpting.
Yeah. So it's not as bad as starting with 6 cards, and it's you don't get like the scry that was the Vancouver mulligan. Here, John, since you're a table friend,
Yes.
you can do
Oh, God. Okay. Alrighty. Well, I know what I'm shipping to the bottom.
All right, so I'm going to switch camera angles here.
Not gonna need that card.
All right, here we go.
All right.
So I got totals right here. 2020. Let's go. Does this do counters or anything? Or
Island.
Oh my goodness, wall of text
Go.
from Insidious Pie.
my
My parents got me a talking dollhouse as a kid, and each of the dolls had little plates. I remember seeing those where they stood on that could be slotted into little spots in the dollhouse to make them talk or make the house do things. Early on, I lost the dog, so the house would ask, "Where's Spot?" which is what I named the dog. She could name the dolls. And I felt so bad because I couldn't put Spot into any of the slots to answer the call for the dog. That's really tragic.
Oh.
I was going to say is...
That would hurt my soul, and I would never be able to play with it again.
Speaking of dollhouses, what I was going to say is that my grandfather made a dollhouse for my grandmother. And this was he was a man who started projects, is a man, I suppose.
Yeah, he
who
is.
started projects that sometimes never got finished. So this dollhouse was mostly assembled in the old pool house.
See, I wouldn't be able to play with it. It would have hurt me. I had some really cool play sets though that had magnets that you used that went underneath. Yes, I said go. They were these little play sets that all of the figures had magnets in their bases. And so you could stand them in different places, and then they had magnets underneath the
you've
play
told
platforms.
me about that, yeah.
And so you could move people around. So they had like an ice skating rink, and it had a little like control that would move the magnets underneath. And if you put your figures in the right places, it would make them do like circles around each other and stuff.
Sounds cute.
It was really cool. It was a really neat set. I wish I could remember what they were. You could only get them. You couldn't get them at like Sears or anything. We had to get them at Woolworths in Boston at Downtown Crossing. Because my grandmother would take me into Boston to Downtown Crossing every once in a while as like a special treat.
So I played a planes, pass back to you.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and put a swamp down.
Oh, you've already got 2 colors of mana.
Yeah, I do. And we're going to put down a Towering Wave Mystic.
Can I put it on Still Store?
Yeah, sure. I'm going to read it first so I know what it does.
Okay.
Thank you. Whenever it deals damage, target player puts that many cards from the top of their library into their graveyard.
Do you ever read the boxes?
Oh, go for it.
it
Pretty
doesn't
much
really
what
show
I
up very well.
believe
There we
my
go.
deck does is it attempts to put things in other people's graveyards and then steal them out of those graveyards to make use of them.
And it's my turn?
It is your turn, yes. I have tapped my mana.
I shall also tap some mana. I mean, you might have an Ornithopter in your hand.
I doubt it, but sure.
I'm going to play a Sun Hoplite.
Do it.
It's a creature human soldier, 2/1. As long as it's my turn, Sun Hoplite has first strike. Sun Hoplite gets +1/+0 as long as you control an Elspeth Planeswalker, which I don't. But there it is. I've got a Sun Hoplite.
Okay.
Pass unto you.
Untap. Untap. Draw. Sure, why not? Let's put down an Unknown Shores.
Ooh. She's got mana fixing in her deck.
Yes, I do.
Mine's mono white, so I've got no mana fixing.
Tappa, tappa, tappa for an Underworld Charger. It is a 3/3 Nightmare Horse. It can't block, and it has Escape. Escape for 4 and a black, and exile 3 other cards from your graveyard, and I can cast this from my graveyard for its escape cost. It escapes as a 5/5. So the 2+1/+1 counters on it.
So escape is one of the new mechanics that they've introduced for this set.
The whole idea is that you're escaping the underworld of Theros.
Oh, so it's like a Hades.
So it's a graveyard casting mechanic where you exile stuff as part of the escape cost.
You found
my
it?
deck.
I wonder if you could get it with the dog figure, or if someone sells the dog figure separately. And what's he? A 2/1?
He's a 2/1, and he does not have first strike because it is not my turn.
Yeah, I'm still not gonna swing into it, but okay.
Okay.
All right.
My turn?
Yeah, your turn.
Zoop, zoop.
Hey, Chad. I started the game with so much land. After starting.
I have 3 lands. All right.
Lands.
Don't tell Andy.
What was that? I wasn't. Okay. I'm reading my cards, and it's not super thrilling for chat to watch. So I have a 2/1 first strike.
Action reading.
What do you have?
I have a 2/1 and a 3/3, but it can't block. My 3/3 can't block.
Okay, so I'm going to swing with my hoplite.
Yeah, sure.
2/1 first strike.
I'll take it.
All right.
Zoop, zoop. And then, second main, I'm going to cast a Leonin of the Lost Pride.
I don't like that. What's he?
When it dies, it's a 3/1.
Okay.
So, it's a good attacker. It's a cat warrior. And when it dies, exile target card from an opponent's graveyard. Doesn't do me much good right now because you don't have anything in your graveyard for me to exile.
Sure don't.
I will pass to you.
Okay.
So the thing with these pre-built decks, obviously, is that they're well built to be played against each other. You're just hitting a massive land pocket?
So my first hand had 1 land.
Yes. So you shuffled it back.
Guess how many lands my second hand had?
I'm going to guess 5.
So shipped 1 to the bottom.
And drew lands every
Nothing
turn.
but land.
Wow.
I have a handful of islands right now.
Wow.
So I'm just going to sit here and do nothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Sorry.
Yeah, it's a bummer. This is the thing I don't like about Magic, and it's sort of an inescapable thing. It's something that you can't really fix with a card game like this, is that with a randomly sorted deck, you're gonna have games where you just draw into not what you need, and you're not gonna, like, it's all well and good to be like, my deck has ways for me to get cards out of my deck, if only they were in my hand, you know? When you draw into a land pocket, there's not much you can do about it.
Do you want to reshuffle and start again?
Nah, I mean...
Okay. I'm going to swing out. Kapow?
Yeah. I'm gonna have to take that in the face, because I don't...
And at instant speed, Phalanx Tactics. Target creature you control gets +2/+1.
Yep.
And each other creature gets +1/+1. So I'll give him +2/+1. So it's 5, 6, 7, 8.
That's great. Because I can't block with my Charger, because it doesn't block.
Yeah.
And I could block with my Mystic, but that
Then I'll make
loses
another
me
land.
any possibility of using it, and I don't have any other creatures in hand, so...
Okay. Pass back to you.
All right. Oh boy, another useless thing.
So your Unknown Shores, it taps for colorless, but you can...
You can spend 1 and tap it to add a mana of any color,
Okay.
but
That's what I thought.
if I have generic, I can use it for colorless.
Yeah,
I can
absolutely.
use colorless for that. So I have another Underworld Charger, which is great. Still can't block, which still doesn't do me a heck of a lot of good.
I have a 3/1 up.
Yeah, I know. So, Towering Wave Mystic dealing damage, does that have to be damage to you, or is it any damage?
What's it say?
Whenever Towering Wave Mystic deals damage. Okay.
Doesn't say damage to an opponent.
Great, sure. Then you know what? I'm just going to swing with it.
So what is it? It's a 2/1?
Actually, I'll swing with these two.
So a 3/3
so I have a
and a
3/3
2/1.
and a 2/1. Yeah.
Okay. And when it does damage, what does the Mystic do?
You mill that many cards out of your deck
Wow.
into your graveyard.
All right.
Like, it's not exile, but...
Yeah.
out
I
of your
guess I'll block the Mystic with my Leonin.
Okay.
So damage,
Yeah, it
3/1
does-
versus
A 2/1.
2/1, so they both die.
No. A 2. Oh, yeah, they do. They
Yeah.
do both die.
But you
and-
do 2 damage to my
Yes.
lost my Leonin, so I have to mill 2.
Yep.
And so I have in my graveyard now Eidolon of Inspiration
Oh, an
and
Eidolon.
a Plains.
Okay.
Wow.
And you take 3 from the
Oh
Underworld
yes,
Charger.
I take 3. Yep.
You are.
Okay.
All right.
Pass.
Second main. Okay. I'll play a Plains. And right, you can't block.
Sure can't. Which is why I swung with it. I mean, it doesn't
Yeah.
do me any good sitting untapped.
I guess I'll swing out
Yeah, I'll
for
take
5
it. I don't have a choice.
Okay.
and pass. That doesn't look like the face of somebody who's happy with their hand. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Swamp.
That's what I drew.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So now I have a swamp.
Yep, you do.
I'm gonna swing for 6.
I'm gonna take 6.
Okay.
There you go.
I die next turn.
Yeah.
So it doesn't
Alright.
matter.
All right.
I drew 8 lands total
Wow.
for that.
Yeah, that sounds like
What's
you really
the
need to.
deck's portion? Do you know how many?
It
lands
shouldn't
is?
be that many. Ooh, look, another land.
That's. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it would have been one more turn before I started hitting actual
Yeah.
cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that wasn't a case of look at how well these decks play against each other, because my deck didn't actually
Yeah.
play.
Do you want to try again, or do you want to open some packs?
I feel I don't even get to see what this deck does.
Yeah, let's try it again.
I played 3 creatures and 2 of them were the same creature.
Yeah. So the theory behind the Planeswalker decks,
They're supposed to
since
be
they first
pre-constructed.
introduced them, is that Planeswalkers are a cool card, but they're very rare. So with the Planeswalker decks, Wizards of the Coast tried to make it so that you'd almost definitely get to play your Planeswalker, which neither of us got to do.
Yeah,
There's
no.
like searchers for specific planeswalkers and
Exactly.
whatnot,
There's
yeah.
things in the deck that will help you search for a Planeswalker to get it into your hand so that you can play it.
Yeah, so my opening hand was a 1-land hand. I had an island and a bunch of black cards.
Do you want
so
to be on
that
the
was
play
a,
again?
That was a very bad keep for me, so I think I was correct in not keeping it.
I agree.
Because 1 blue mana and a bunch of black cards, or blue and black cards, no, that's pointless. But yeah, my second hand was 2 creatures and 5 lands.
Yeah.
And then I just kept drawing
Yeah.
lands. I will be on the play.
Okay.
I'll keep that.
Huh.
That's manageable.
I'm on the draw.
Yep.
I'll keep.
Okay.
Interesting. Reading my cards. Okay.
Go.
Okay. I will play a Plains and pass.
Okay. island and pass.
Okay. Planes. Tappa tappa. It's the sunlight hoplite again.
Oh boy!
As long as it's my turn, they have +1, or they have first strike.
Okay.
Pass. You okay, John?
Yeah, sorry. Just been very cold.
No. You pass?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had some higher cost cards in my hand, but I wanted to keep them, and I had enough lands that I felt like.
So, for anybody watching who's not as familiar with Magic: The Gathering, a piece of generic advice that you often get when you are playing Magic, because bluffing is a part of the game, is to not cast your creatures in your first main, because you have a first main, then you attack, then you have a second main, and most creatures can't attack when they first come out.
Yep.
So there's no point in casting them in your first main. It uses up your mana, and holding that mana up could change the decisions your opponent makes, because they think you might have some sort of combat tricks.
They might be able to pump their creature, don't like it.
The reason I bring this up is I have a creature that breaks that rule. It doesn't have haste, but I'm going to tap 3 for Eidolon of Inspiration. It is an enchantment creature spirit.
Yes, it is.
At the beginning of combat on your turn, target creature you control gets +2/+0 until end of turn. And that happens even if that thing has summoning sickness. So, first main that.
Yep.
Move to combat.
Now combat.
This is a 4/1 with first strike. Zapow.
Yeah, yeah, I'll take it.
Okay.
Pass. Cool. I do end up teaching people how to play Magic fairly frequently in the store. So I have these little tricks and tips and things that I always bring out as part of teaching Magic. So I'm sorry, Chad, if I come across as, I don't know, self-assured? I don't know.
Cocky. You're not even playing blue.
Yeah.
I am going to cast
Turning
Myers
cards
Grasp
sideways.
on your...
Enchanted creature gets -3/-3.
Yeah.
Well, that just kills it.
Yeah, suck it.
It was a 2/1. Zoop. All right.
It's an enchantment, so I couldn't like just cast it
it's
at
not
instant
a-
speed. So
It doesn't have flash.
But I was like, I don't want that out.
Yep. Well, I've got a thing in my graveyard now.
Yeah, you do. I played land for turn, didn't I?
You
yeah,
did.
I did. Cool. All right, go.
I'll play a land.
Okay.
And pass. Oh no, I can attack with my Eidolon.
Yeah. Why aren't you attacking?
Swing for 2, or actually, it targets itself, right? It's not another creature. Target creature you control, so I swing for 4.
Cool.
It's all good?
I can't do anything about that, so yes.
Okay.
Pass.
Okay.
Oh, jeez.
And Unknown Shores.
Okay.
And I'm gonna do for a Farika's Spawn.
Ooh.
This is a 3/4 Gorgon with escape for 5 and a black, and exile 3 other cards.
Okay.
Farika's Spawn escapes with 2 +1/+1 counters on it. When it enters the battlefield this way, each opponent sacrifices a non-Gorgon creature.
Wow.
So you don't want me taking this out of my graveyard.
Yeah.
You want this to either stay on the battlefield or you want to get it out of my graveyard if
But
it goes
it's a
there.
3/4?
It's a 3/4 to start with.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Gorgons are awesome.
And I will pass.
Okay. All right. So here's the thing.
Are you having the problem I had last turn?
Well, sort of the opposite.
Yeah.
I
Pull a lot of
will
cards and-
move to combat.
Okay.
Target my Eidolon, so it's a 4/2.
Uh-huh.
And swing with my Eidolon.
It's a 4/2.
Yes,
You have a whole lot of mana up.
I do.
Ah. Block with my spawn.
So they both die.
It's a 3/4. Yeah, they trade.
Yeah.
All right.
Now it's in my graveyard.
But you need 3 things besides it in the graveyard to bring
Correct.
it back.
Yeah.
So
But it's
that's why I
it's
was confident
there.
that putting it in the graveyard was okay at that
But
stage.
it's there.
Pass to you.
Okay.
Okay.
It's in my graveyard now. Lurking.
Preparing. And it's not like you don't have ways of getting things into your graveyard so that it can escape from the graveyard.
In fact,
You have 5 mana up?
6.
Oh, 6.
I have 2 unknown shores.
Ah.
So I'm gonna tap,
Yeah.
tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap.
That's 6.
Guess who's coming?
Is it a Nightmare Weaver?
Guess who's coming?
Ooh, the
It's
Planeswalker.
Ashiok.
Ashiok. Which Ashiok is this?
This is Ashiok, Sculptor of Fear.
Sculptor of Fears.
So yeah, I can +1 to draw a card, and then each player puts the top 2 cards of their library into their graveyard. So that starts filling my graveyard with things I can pull out
So
of it.
this is why we have all the dice, John.
So we're gonna start it with 4. So I'm just gonna stick that there.
Yep. Are you going to +1 it now?
It's +2. It's +2.
Oh, are you going to +2 it?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
Of course I am. So it's at 6 right now.
And I mill 2?
Yep.
Well, you draw 1, and then we
I draw
both
1,
mill
and then
2.
yeah, we both mill 2.
Now, you have enough in your graveyard to get that back. I discarded an Indomitable Will and a Leonin of the Lost Pride.
Does your deck also contain a Planeswalker?
Yes,
Okay.
my deck contains Elspeth.
So
Okay.
Is there a Greek influence for this Planeswalker?
So Ashiok is not from Theros.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ashiok is on Theros at the moment, but Ashiok is not from Theros.
Okay.
I
They're
believe Ashiok is from Ravnica. I
not
could be wrong.
necessarily. Ashiok first showed up in Ravnica, but
Yeah.
it has not been confirmed that Ashiok is from Ravnica.
Okay.
Yeah, little is known about Ashiok is the thing.
Okay.
All right.
All right, and I'm out of mana, so I'm passing the turn.
I draw a card. I play a Plains.
I feel satisfied now, even though I'm at 12 and Andy's at 20, because I did get to play Ashiok, and that at least is part of the point of this deck. Though I will say my hand did a funny thing, or my deck did a funny thing, that I will tell about when we are done with this game.
Two.
I'm going to tap 5
Uh-huh.
to cast
a lot.
a Daybreak Chimera.
Oh, yeah, that's
Daybreak
not fun.
Chimera is a 3/3
With flying.
with flying. And all this text here is it costs X less to cast, where X is your devotion to white. My devotion to white is 0,
Yeah.
so it costs 0 less to cast. I had to
Yeah.
hard cast it.
Okay.
I will pass to you.
Okay.
I can't attack with that because it has Summoning Sickness. I just realized I may have made a tactical error. That's fine. Everything's fine.
I am going to +2 my... Actually, no. What do you have in your graveyard, Andy?
Leonin of the Lost Pride, which is the one that when it dies, exile a target card from an opponent's graveyard. Indomitable Will is not a creature. The Eidolon of Inspiration, which is the one that gives +2/+0 to target creature at the beginning of every combat. Combat on your turn. And that Sunlit Hoplite you killed earlier that has first strike if it's your turn.
Neat. Neat. All right. I am going to +2 Ashiok.
Okay.
Ashiok is now at 8. Draw.
Insidious Pie. She says that I may have made a tactical error. Me every play, I make every game.
Towering Wave. I've milled a Towering Wave Mystic and a Myers Grasp.
I have milled Dreadful Apathy and a Plains.
Oh, I should play a land for turn, huh?
You could do that.
Yeah, there we go. And I am going to spend 5.
Yeah, this is what I was referring to with the tactical error.
Yeah. I am doing 5 and a black, so 4, 5, and a black.
Yep.
And exile 3 cards from my graveyard, so we'll exile Myers Grasp, Sleep of the Dead, and a Towering Wave. Oh, well, Myers Grasp.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, no, I'm keeping Sleep of the Dead, because that Sleep of the Dead actually has an escape cost. So we'll get rid of a Towering Wave Mystic. And keep that Swimmer and Nightmares in there, because that's a neat card. I may be able to get that out of there at some point.
Cool.
So these are now exiled.
Yep.
Gotcha.
To get Farika's Spawn, and it shows up with 2 +1/+1 counters on it. And each opponent sacrifices a non-Gorgon creature.
Well, my Daybreak Chimera is not a Gorgon.
No,
so
it's not.
I sacrifice that.
Turn stone.
Oh, well.
And I'm past the turn.
Yeah.
So escape still causes summoning sickness?
Yes,
Yeah,
because
it's still cast.
Summoning Sickness is an enter the battlefield after being cast thing.
Okay.
And you're casting it, you're just casting it from your graveyard instead of your hand.
Gotcha. Ooh, excuse me.
All right. So, okay. I see what I'm going to do.
Good.
I'm going to tap 5
Uh-huh.
3, 4, 5.
and cast Daybreak Chimera. It's a 3/3 that costs 1 less to cast for each devotion of white.
Yeah.
Pass to you.
Okay.
So, John, after this game, I think we will open some cards, if you would like.
That'd be fine. I'm in no rush for anything particular. For those who may not, people have, we've played Magic before with me.
We have played
right?
Magic on stream, yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember Scrambles.
I am +2ing my
So I'm going to be milling more stuff.
my Ashiok. Yeah.
Yeah, I normally don't play Magic the Gathering very much.
Dreadful Apathy,
personally.
and I don't want to mill that.
Well, tough.
Tyrannica, a Crowan veteran.
That was a nice looking card.
It is a 3/3 legendary human soldier with vigilance. Whenever it attacks, untap another target creature you control. Until end of turn, that creature has base power and toughness 4/4 and gains indestructible.
And it's a 1 with 2 white mana. That's pretty good.
So, yeah, that's in my graveyard now.
So that's cool. I'm gonna tap 1 island to cast Sleep of the Dead. Tap target creature.
Yep, there goes my Chimera.
It does not untap during its controller's next untap step.
Okay, so it is frozen.
Normally, a Cerberus sleeps 1 head at a time. It has
That's
a
the
very
flavor text?
sleepy Doge on it with all
Aw.
3 heads asleep.
50.
That also has an escape cost, so I can cast that out of my my
From your graveyard?
graveyard. Yeah. So that was first main.
Yep.
Second main. I think I want
That Gorgon.
Yep.
did some
I'm
work.
going to bring another Farika's Spawn out.
Nice.
So this one is a 3/4. And
Is that the
it
one
didn't
that can't
escape.
block?
It's the same as that.
It's another Gorgon.
It's just I didn't
They're not
escape
legendary.
it. It's
Okay.
just normal. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And I will
Swing for 5.
swing for 5.
Yeah, I've got no blockers and no mana.
Okay.
And I will pass the turn.
Okay.
15 to 12. This is going to be a tight one.
That does not untap.
Nope.
I get a land. Now
So
I
I
have to make choices.
There's a thing that I want to do. If I get to do it, then I'll probably be happy. If I don't, I'll still be happy because I did get to see how this deck is supposed to work.
Makes sense.
Which is that once you start like putting things in your opponent's graveyard and putting things in your opponent's graveyard is good for Ashiok.
Okay.
Yep.
Putting things in my graveyard is good for me because it means that I can exile things
Yep.
easier to cast
Yep.
to cost my escape
Feeds escape,
costs.
yeah.
Yeah. So milling works really well on both sides for this deck. This deck wants to be milling both decks.
All right. I'm going to
is
tap
neat.
6
Okay, 6.
That's a lot.
Oh my god.
for an Archon of the Falling Stars.
Oh boy. What
This
does that
is
do?
a creature Archon. It's a 4/4 flyer. When it dies, I may return target enchantment card from the graveyard to the battlefield.
What is an Archon?
There's like spiritual crud. I looked it up at one point.
I just want to look at the art real quick, if that's okay.
Sure. It's a person riding on a griffin, I think.
Oh, it's a moo cow.
me-
Moo cow griffin.
A cow griffin, okay.
I think that's a cow. Is that a?
It was
he
a
doesn't have
Greek word that meant ruler,
Oh.
but
okay.
it was like to be first. So it's supposed to be like
A Caesar.
an avatar, sort of. You
Oh,
know, it's
yeah.
like, this is your leader. This is the sort of leader in battle sort of deal.
So that's my 4/4 flyer.
Neat.
Archon.
And I pass.
Yeah, because it has summoning sickness. So
Yep.
otherwise, I know you would have swung with it. Neat.
But she has this mighty 5/5 Gorgon.
Yeah, I do. Sure.
So even with my flyers, this is going to be a race at this point.
Yep.
All right, cool. Let's do some things.
Sure.
First, tap 1,
No.
Sleep of the Dead on your Archon.
No! Darn it. My poor Archon plummeted
Plus-
out of the air, fast asleep.
+2.
Okay. I mill a Hero of the Winds. It's a flying 1/4. Whenever you cast a spell that targets Hero of the Winds, creatures you control get +1/+0.
Okay.
And Daybreak Chimera. That's the third of those. There's one in my graveyard already, and there's one on the battlefield.
Let's see. I'm going to...
I'm at 15, you're at 12.
That is the current state of the
1,
board.
2, 3, 4. Swamp for a Gravebreaker Lamia.
Ooh.
This is a 4/4 snake, or no, enchantment creature, snake Lamia. It has lifelink, and when it enters the battlefield, I can search my library for a card, put it into my graveyard, and then shuffle my library.
Oh, that's
my.
a pretty nifty ability.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a just straight out tutor. Tutor
Yeah.
something into your grave.
In a lot of games, that selective milling is extremely good.
Well, especially since her whole thing is
Yeah.
escaping from the graveyard.
Yeah.
She can put something nasty into her graveyard and escape it
And
either
then I
this
can
turn or next.
pull it right out, yeah. The thing is, I don't know all the cards in
No,
my
yeah.
deck, so I'm having to like look at them as I go. Okay, so I think we're going to do
What's that?
It's so much warmer in here.
Oh, yeah. Man, you must have been cold because you were walking today, right? Ew. I was outdoor, like I had to refill my car and my hand almost froze to the pump in my glove. I was like, oh my, so cold, so cold.
Yepper.
All right.
Hopefully they give us some nice
How is it in
cold.
California, Lobster of Revenge?
Yeah.
I am taking an Underworld Charger and putting it into my graveyard.
Nifty.
Tell us, what does the Underworld Charger do?
It's the card. It's the only creature I really had the last game. It was.
Oh, it's the one that can't block.
It's a 3/3 that can't block and it escapes for 4 and a black and exile and comes in with 2+1/+1 counters on it.
So it's a 5/5 if you bring it back from the graveyard.
Correct.
Nifty.
Cool.
Okay. Do you want to cut?
No, you're fine.
Okay. And two fights.
Yep, fightsy time.
Fight time. Well, swing
5, 6, 7, 8.
for 8.
Yeesh. Yeah, I'm taking 8.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm at 7.
Okay. I will pass.
All right, Andy.
Amanda?
Oh, and spells I cast from my graveyard cost 1 generic less to cast
Oh, nifty.
for
So that helps
the
with escapes a lot.
Gravebreaker Lamia. Yeah, like
That's the Gravebreaker
she's
part.
yeah, that's her whole point.
This one untaps, but not that one.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Well, I still get to do a thing.
Neat.
Oh, wait. Maybe I can do 2 things.
Okay.
I do want you to be able to do
7.
things because it is a bummer to not get to do things when you play.
Well, no, I mean, your deck is firing off. I have choices at this point. I've got 6 mana, so I've got
so
choices.
you've got options.
Did your deck have any of the newer mechanic-based things, Andy?
I'm going to tap 3, Amanda,
Okay.
to cast a Dreadful Apathy on your
Oh.
5/5 Gorgon. It can no longer attack or block, and I could exile it, flat out exile it by tapping 3.
Cool.
But for now, it can't attack or block. And then,
It's just so apathetic. It's just so lazy.
so you still have a 3/3 and another 3/3.
Yes. Well, I have a 3/4 and a 4/4.
A 3/4 and a 4/4. That's 7.
Yeah, it is.
Darn it. Okay. Okay, that's fine. Eidolon of Inspiration.
Gotcha.
I'm going to give +2/+0 to this Chimera.
Okay. So it's a 6 something.
No, it's
What is
a
it?
it's a 5/3
Okay.
with flying.
In the
So
air. Yeah.
Smack you for 5.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Okay.
7 all.
Tag
Okay.
Pass.
Okay. So this untaps, but you know, it's just not feeling it today.
Yep.
It's just
It's
you know,
apathetic.
it's going to take a mental health day.
I know the feeling.
Yeah. Okay. Draw. Swamp for turn. Okay. So here's the thing.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, is that the -11? What's that one do?
Yeah, you have not been paying attention to. No. I gain control of all creatures target
All
opponent
creatures.
controls.
Okay.
Not in your graveyard. What's on your?
Yeah.
Those become hers.
They
Those are mine
untap?
now. It doesn't say. It just says gain control of all creatures target opponent controls. So I don't know what the
I
mechanic
think
on
they
that
don't
is.
untap them.
Yeah, I think they don't
I
untap.
could be wrong. Chat, does anybody in chat know? But this is definitely, I don't have enough blockers now.
Yeah.
It's
So
very.
even if you can't attack with my 2 flyers,
It's very conjure currency.
that's game.
Yeah. This is Ashiok's ult is
Pretty
not
good ability.
nice.
I was thinking his ult was take stuff from my
take all the
graveyard.
creatures out of your graveyard. Yeah,
No,
which would be very flavorful. But no, it's like, your board's mine.
Out of curiosity, Amanda, what was the escape cost for that freezing touch thing that you kept using?
Sleep of the Dead?
Yeah.
2 in a blue and exile 3 other cards.
So 1 in a blue and exile 3 cards, and you would have been able to tap down my guy and kill me anyway. So
which was my plan.
I was sort of on the board the boards there. I didn't have a way to get back.
So here's the funny part. I had Ashiok in my opening hand, which was why I kept that opening hand, even though everything in my hand was too expensive to cast for the first couple of turns.
I had Elspeth in my opening hand. She costs 5, and I was stuck at 4 mana for several turns. And then I drew Elspeth's Devotee, who's the one that searches
both
for her.
of my searchers.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's not helpful.
So
I could cast them, but I have better creatures to cast.
So you may recall, if you guys remember how I read Elspeth, for her +2 is put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures. I don't think I had 2 creatures on the board until the very end.
Yeah.
I was like, I could cast her and +1 her or +2 her and put 1 +1/+1 counter out, but it's not really getting me there.
That Gravebreaker Lamia is a wonderful card for a graveyard search-in deck, because when you get to cast things from your graveyard, because Escape is a cast from your graveyard, but aren't there other like cast from your graveyard
mechanics?
Oh,
absolutely. Yeah.
So a card like that are spells that you cast from your graveyard cost 1 generic less to cast. That's great.
There's flashback.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's so useful. And it's got lifelink. So if I had swung with it, I would have gained life for doing damage to you with it. So I would have been up. And yeah, that Farika's spawn. All it needed to do was die, and I could bring it out. And I had the Underworld Charger ready to go. Like I could have pulled that out of my deck too, out of my graveyard, and it escapes with 2 +1/+1 counters and becomes a 5/5.
Yep.
So
that's the Planeswalker decks, and I think that was a good demonstration.
I think it was.
Elspeth's deck is very much about being fast.
Yeah.
Swinging out, obviously, flyers.
Getting things out there, swinging in ways that your opponent can't get rid of. Tapping down your opponent so that your opponent can't block you. Because definitely that apathy was going to make it like my big dude couldn't do anything. Just didn't feel like it.
It also says this is the instructions on how to play the deck or something like that, right?
Yeah.
It also says you have like a flash creatures, which is also a big thing.
Yeah, that can come out
anytime.
Flash means that they cast at instant speed.
Yep.
So I actually had a creature with Flash in my graveyard, or I had a creature with Flash that was in my deck.
Yeah.
But it didn't have escape. So I didn't want to put it in my graveyard because I was like, well, I can't get it out of there.
Yeah.
So,
Gotcha.
So that's why I went with the Charger, is that the Charger did have escape and could get very big if I escaped it.
Yeah.
Can't block, but a 5/5 coming at you every turn, because why hold it back if you can't block with it, is not going to be fun. So, yeah. This is a blue-black combo that is not so much with the combat tricks.
Yeah.
It's not a control blue-black deck. It is a blue-black deck that thrives on just being like sneaky and underhanded. So blue-black is a combo that I like in theory, and I'm not always that good at playing. But that I want to be black in general is a color that I'm like, I want to get better at playing black, because
black is very much my life is a resource.
Yeah, my life total is a resource that I need to be willing to play with. I need to be willing to sacrifice my life score either to play cards or to take hits in order to get something else done.
Yeah.
And that makes me very anxious. So I get nervous playing black a lot of the time. But it's a color that I like the flavor of a lot of the cards. I like the decks that are built around it. So, yeah.
So my plan for the remainder of tonight, because we played those decks a couple of times now.
Yeah.
My plan was, I bought 2 boxes of Theros Beyond Death. One of those is going into my infamous vault.
Yeah, one is a vault box.
And we'll come back to that someday.
Vault, okay.
But the other one we can open now, and we've got 2 packs from each of our Planeswalker decks.
Yes, we did.
So I was thinking we could each build a deck.
Sure.
Sure.
Let's
Help you open?
let's each open 6 packs, just as if it was a pre-release.
Yeah.
There you go.
We won't have our pre-release promo,
Yeah.
so we'll be missing a rare.
Yeah.
Oh, Amanda, what's in the Buy a Box promo? That silver thing.
Oh, buy a box promos. The buy a box promo is Athreos the Shroud Veiled, and a very pretty island.
Yeah, it's one of the Nyx lands.
So Athreos is a legendary enchantment creature. It is a god. It's a black-white god. It's a 4/7 with indestructible. As long as your devotion to white and black is less than 7, Athreos isn't a creature. At the beginning of your end step, put a coin counter on another creature. So it's like Sharon, I think.
Cool.
It's the ferryman of the dead. Whenever a creature with a coin counter on it dies or is put into exile, return that card to the battlefield under your control.
It's a white-black?
So you're putting coins on other people's stuff, and you're like, yeah, you have your payment to the underworld.
But it comes back onto the battlefield
He's gonna come
on my side.
bring it back to my.
That's pretty cool.
Nifty.
That's a neat card.
And so with the Buy a Box promos, they were supposed to be Athreos and a foil Nyx land.
This one isn't a foil; it's just a regular Nyx
So,
land.
due to a packaging error, they came with non-foil Nyx lands, which aren't very special.
Yeah.
So, Wizards of the Coast provided us with foil Nyx lands
So we got a mountain.
to give out as another Buy a Box promo.
Neat.
Very nice.
So I've got 2 foil Nyx lands
Got a
for my 2
plains
boxes.
and a island.
Gotcha.
Cool. All right.
All right, so let's get some packs, and then we can sort of talk through our deck building
Deck tech.
and talk with chat.
Yeah. Ooh, so pretty.
Opening an entire box of cards is just, it's decadent.
Thoroughly decadent.
Thank you.
6 packs for you.
And then 4 for each of us because we already have
Yep.
2 packs each.
4 for
Thank
you.
you.
These feel very loose. They're not as tight.
Yeah,
tightly-
these are. I believe these are Japanese packs. They're not printed in Japanese, but they're manufactured in Japan.
Interesting.
Okay.
But yes, they're actually a
The
different height.
packaging is, yeah, the
Like, this
packaging
is-
is very different.
Yeah. You probably, I don't know if you guys can see that out in the internet.
Yeah, it's definitely,
But the packaging
It's
is
got some
different.
air
The
in it.
foil is
yeah,
different.
it's a looser pack.
Anyways, let's see what we got.
Okay.
Do we have a playmat for John?
I don't have a
you
playmat.
do?
Oh, yes, I do. Here, John.
Oh, thank you.
You can be Admiral Thrawn.
Bum, ba, ba, ba,
Oh my gosh.
bum.
That's so nice. Thank you. So,
They have an ad for the
I got a
Wizards
Saga.
locator.
Elspeth's Nightmare. This is the one where she thinks that Phyrexians have shown up on
I got a
Theros.
hollow.
Ooh,
Pretty.
nice.
I got a puppy!
You got a puppy.
Ooh, legendary.
Kunoros, Hound of Athreos. So again, Sharon and we got a 3-headed doggy.
Yeah.
It's
Cerberus.
1 a white and a black for a 3/3 hound with vigilance, menace, and lifelink. Creature cards in graveyards can't enter the battlefield, so escape cannot happen.
Ooh, that seems nasty.
And players can't cast spells from graveyards, so escape just doesn't exist while Kunoros is out.
That sounds
I got
pretty
a Phoenix,
That's
the
a-
Phoenix of Ash.
That's a good pupper.
good. I got the Bronze Hide Lion. It becomes indestructible because it's the
Nice.
line
Yeah, 'cause
of
it's bronze-eyed, yeah.
Yeah. When it dies, return it to the battlefield. It is an aura enchantment with a creature you control. Tap a forest and a plain. Enchanted creature gains indestructible till end of turn, and it loses all other abilities. So you wear the lion's mane like Hercules.
Yeah.
Thematic.
Or it's the Golden Fleece.
Maybe.
Although a fleece isn't not a lion.
Yeah.
Yeah. I should say that I opened one of the sagas.
Oh,
I
cool.
also, I've opened 2 sagas now.
Zombie Mountain.
I opened
Ooh.
Elspeth's Nightmare and Timurit Calls the Dead.
I got Krakos, the Titan of Death's Hunger.
Neat. You got a Titan?
Yeah.
The Titans are horrible.
Legendary
Yeah.
creature, Elder Giant.
Yeah.
When Krakos enters the battlefield, sacrifice it unless it is escaped.
Yup.
Whenever Krakos enters the battlefield or attacks, each opponent discards a card. Then each opponent who didn't discard a non-land card that way loses 3 life. You can make it escape with 2 black, 2 red. Exile 5 other cards from your graveyard. It is a 6/6.
Yeah, sleeve that. That's
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
good.
Put a sleeve on that.
It's only costs 2 mana, so I assume you play it
You
immediately.
play it, you sack
Die,
it,
get the
and
next
then you bring it back.
yeah. So that is part of a combo in a rather vicious deck. That's
It's horrible.
coming now.
Oh, it's horrible.
Okay.
here.
Okay, I shall sleeve that.
I had seen it mentioned online, and I mentioned it to Andy. I was like, "Have you seen this combo?" And as soon as he saw it, he was like, "Oh, that card's gonna
I'll keep
jump
that to
in
the
price."
side. What else did I get? Boom.
Add card. Bah.
Oh, that's nifty.
And these packs have the like tokens
This is a backwards
and stuff.
pack.
Yeah, the packs out of our boxes are backwards. It's all very strange.
I just new Magic cards. So Amanda, did you see Mark Rosewater's response when somebody asked him, "Why are you doing sagas in a Greek-themed set when Greeks are when
Gotta keep the
sagas
Kraken
are
company."
Norse?" Yes. I'm gonna go from the back on this pack so that I don't.
Dalikos, Crafter of Wonders.
Neat.
Nifty.
What's it do?
Tap, add 2, I think just normal lands. I don't know what these diamonds mean.
Oh, 2 colorless.
2 colorless. Spend this mana only on the cast of artifact spells or active abilities of your artifacts. Equipped creatures you control have flying and haste.
That's creepy.
It is a legendary creature.
The art for Sentinel's Eyes is really intensely creepy.
Ooh. Ooh. Did I? Yes, that's empty.
So I have the Shadow Spear. Oh, and an interesting goat token.
Oh, goats.
I'm going to go to Zoom Cam just to show off my goat token. This is my goat, folks. Greatest of all time. That's a great goat token. But the Shadow Spear is the spear that Elspeth is wielding in some of the art for this set. And it has sort of, it looks like it's covered in Phyrexian oil. The text is, the flavor text is a weapon of darkness for a warrior of light. It costs 1 to bring out, equips for 2. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 and has trample and lifelink. And it has the ability for 1 generic mana, permanents your opponent control, lose hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. So I could punch through your lion armor using this spear.
Okay, cool.
It removes indestructible. More of a utility card than a powerful thing, but I think in a sealed environment like this, There's no reason not to put that into your deck.
I got the Birth of Melidus.
Ooh, I got a tentacle.
It's a saga. Search library for a basic playing card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle library. Create a 0/4 colorless wall artifact creature with Defender. And third is gain 2 life.
Yeah, the sagas were very well received when they first came out. So I understand why they've brought them back.
A lot of giants. Xerxes the Sudden Storm, and the last pack is Advert Mana. Oh, I got a double land. Temple of Abaddon enters battlefield tapped. Temple of Abaddon enters the battlefield, scry 1.
Abandon, isn't it?
Is
Yeah,
it?
Temple of Abandon.
Temple of Abandon.
Yeah, I should have figured we were going back to Theros when M20 had the enemy temples in it. And this set has the ally temples.
Okay. Now, let us see.
So what do I want to build with what I've drawn here? So chat, what I'm doing is just basically sorting my cards in Wooburg order, which is white, blue, black, red, green. Just to separate out the colors. And then I can sort of figure out what I want to build from there. I feel like I'm strong in white. I'm very strong in white.
Okay.
So let's find my rares. I had the Traveler's Amulet was a rare. Oh, I'm sorry. The Shadow Spear was a rare.
I think.
Ooh, Killswitch pulled a foil Kothis.
Nice.
Congratulations,
Welcome.
Killswitch.
We got.
All right. I feel
Yeah, I
like
have
I feel like I
Clothies.
kind of have to use Kunoros.
Oh.
Oh,
Thank you for the
thank you for
follow.
the follow.
So I thought oh, there we are. I've got Heliod's Intervention, which is choose one, either destroy X target artifacts and or enchantments, or target player gains twice X life. I'm not a huge fan of life gain, but because it's not a end game in and of itself unless you're playing a very specific deck. I have Daxos, who's the demigod. It's more life gain. But he's a good blocker.
Creepy beast.
And I have a foil Idyllic Tutor. Search your library for an enchantment card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library.
All right. I think I'm gonna go with white and green.
Yeah?
Yeah. Based on how my colors are looking, that just seemed to be the most likely.
Andy, what are you thinking?
Well, I have the most rares in white, but like we said way back at the beginning of the stream, your rares are not necessarily... Like, I'm not a big fan of life gain, and I've got some good life gain in my white pool.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with this.
My black is kind of weak. I don't have much good black. Although I have Ephemia the Cacophony, who's a harpy. She's a flying 2/1, and at the beginning of your end step, you may exile an enchantment card from your graveyard. If you do, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. And I have Gary.
Gary.
I think I only have one gray merchant.
Gary.
What is an
We're just building out of one box because we were streaming and we didn't want to sort of rope people who may not want to be on camera onto camera. We didn't enter the pre-release for the night, and the pre-release started at 8, and it would have sort of very much hemmed us in time-wise. So instead, we have a box, and we're each opening 6 packs. Andy and I each had 2 packs from the pre-con Planeswalker Decks. So we opened 4 out of our boxes, and then 2 from those. We played the Planeswalker Decks a few minutes ago. The Ashiok deck did not perform well for me game 1 because
But just because you were mana flooded.
I got mana flooded. I hit a pocket of mana and it was a deep pocket. I tell you, it was a lot of islands. It was a very, very deep pool. So that was a bit of a bummer because I just didn't get to play any cards because no cards were in my hand but lands. Second time around, the deck fired off very nicely. I got to ult with Ashiok and steal all of Andy's creatures, and that
and just swing
left
out
him
with all my
no
stuff.
blockers.
Yeah.
So
That was the way to get.
my first hand was a 1 mana hand. I had an island and all black or black and blue cards. So that wasn't a good keep. So I milled, or I mulled, and got a 5 land hand, shipped 1 to the bottom of my deck, and then didn't draw another spell or creature for like 4 turns. It was a bummer. It was a real bummer of a game.
What is an enchantment creature?
So enchantment creatures can be enchantments or creatures depending on certain circumstances.
Okay.
So they have to meet a certain circumstance before they are considered a creature.
So if I use a Mystic Repel on a creature such as my Nyxborn Courser.
May I see?
Please go on ahead.
So the Nyxborn Courser is an enchantment creature. It's always a creature and it's always an enchantment.
Okay.
It's a vanilla.
Mystic Repel's ability is put a target enchantment onto the player's deck.
Bottom of its owner's library?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I like this.
You could ship that to the bottom of your library if you wanted.
Or you could ship somebody else's enchantment creature to the bottom of their library.
Like I said, it was a
Exile.
bummer.
This is an example.
But yeah. But
right.
second game, both of our decks did what they were built to do, which was really
I
neat.
actually like this.
I did get to ult with Ashiok, which was really cool. So, and the deck was working as intended in that it was letting me mill things into my own graveyard in order to not only have escape fodder, but also creatures to escape out of my graveyard. And it was letting me mill Andy's deck so that he didn't have things in his deck, and so that he had things in his graveyard that I theoretically could play tricks with. So yeah, it worked as intended, which was really neat.
These enchantment creatures have different borders too.
Yes.
Yeah, they have this
Normal thing.
starry sort of ness
Yeah,
around them.
That's so nice. All right.
You have a goat creature, right, Andy? You have a goat token?
I do. Do you
Cool.
need it?
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Here. Let me give you my goat token. Here you go.
Easy.
All right. I think I am going to play green. I just need to figure out what my secondary and possibly tertiary colors are going to be.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
What's the question?
Does every color have escape or just black?
No, every color has escape.
I've seen them on white, on red, and on green. We got Ictomorphous now.
Ichthyomorphism.
Yes,
creature.
turn things into a fish.
The Planeswalker decks are actually really fun. We've enjoyed the Planeswalker decks.
Trying to separate now.
They're well balanced against each other.
Yeah.
They're not like great decks in standard,
No, but
that's not what they're built to do.
Exactly.
They're good ways to play some quick casual magic, and they're a good introduction, I feel.
Theros the Sudden Storm. Flash flying. Spells you cast with converted mana cost 5 or greater, cost 1 less to cast and can't be countered. It's a really
Sorry,
good
that's a
card.
really funny card. Enemy of Enlightenment. It's a 5 and a black demon with flying. Enemy of Enlightenment gets -1/-1 for each card in your opponent's hands. And at the beginning of your upkeep, each opponent discards a card.
Huh. That's pretty good. Alright, yeah, I'm happy, I think, with my deck. I just need lands. Endless lands.
Yeah, well, we can get lands from downstairs, obviously.
2.
Okay. So I think I have my deck. I'm going blue-green enchantments.
That seems like you.
10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So I have to
Cut a card.
cut one card, and then I have to get my lands.
Okay, so 24 is the max we're allowed to have?
No, 40 is the minimum.
Okay.
So the best way to build a 40-card deck is 23 permanents, or 23 cards and 17 lands,
Okay.
is sort of the general way that you want to do that. Oh, I don't need this. Okay, so there. Now I've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 green. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7 blue. 1 green blue. And many of my green have 2. So I'm going to go probably 6 and 11 for my lands.
You're thinking about
6
buying
blue?
your brother-in-law a Planeswalker deck so he can try it out and see if he likes it. I mean, does he play Magic at all? Or is this a get him into Magic sort of deal?
I'll be right back. I'm going to go grab some lands for myself.
Go ahead.
And then I'm going to sleeve my deck up.
Cool.
Excuse me, chat. I will return momentarily.
On these two.
Much as I really want to play Kunoros, Vigilant Menace and Lifelink is really, really good no matter what, right? Even if I'm not blocking escape. It's a 3/3 for 3. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Let's count.
8, 9.
12, 13, 14, 15, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. He said what? 24, 23 is the right
23.
count? 23, okay. I have the Saga, but I don't think I'll use it. We had to cut 4 cards.
I'm back, chat. Hello. Did I miss anything interesting? John, I got you some sleeves.
Oh, thanks. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18.
I unfortunately did
20,
not get
21,
any mana fixing.
23, 24. I have to cut one more card. Which card? Hamina.
So we have just over 50 players in the 8 p.m. pre-release downstairs.
Cool.
It is not bad. I anticipate tomorrow's 1 p.m. being bigger than that, so I'm going to need to get more space.
It's a 3-3 for 3, not a 3-3 for 2, but yeah, I'm going to throw it in anyway because, one, it'll help with escape if either of my opponents are playing escape, and if they're not playing with escape, it's a 3-3 for 3 with vigilance, menace, and lifelink. So I kind of feel like it's decent no matter what.
Menace is good evasion.
It is.
I remember playing in a pre-release during Ixalan, and my opponent had... no, it was during War of the Spark, I think. My opponent had the War of the Spark version of... God, what's his name? The Minotaur.
Come on, one card.
The Black-Red Minotaur.
Oh,
yeah.
Slaughter Priest of
Are we doing
Saugus?
the prize for a
No.
winner on Saturday?
No.
Prize payouts are what, Andy? You know prize payouts better than I do.
It's based on your win-loss percentage, anywhere from 2 to 4 packs. So it's very casual prize payout. If you actually, I guess it's 7 or 8 packs.
Yeah.
If you
Angrath.
sweep.
Yeah.
Yep, that's right.
That's the dude.
So yeah, the War of the Spark Angrath is an uncommon, and his his +1. He's only got 1 activated ability, but it gives all your creatures menace.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I just could not get around that. He slaughtered me. I guess I wasn't playing a very creature-heavy deck.
Your brother-in-law plays Yu-Gi-Oh! I think the Planeswalker decks, especially if you get a second Planeswalker deck to play against it, is a good way to sort of get someone into Magic and show them how a deck has synergy with other cards in that deck and how it responds to other decks. Because if you get 2 Planeswalker decks that came out together, then they are built to play against each other in a fairly balanced way.
Yeah. Sort of like the dual decks.
Yeah.
I was slightly disappointed in the Planeswalker decks that we played for Throne of Eldraine, because I felt like they didn't catch the Throne of Eldraine flavor as well.
I felt like they didn't do a whole lot with the flavor, yeah. I didn't feel like I was doing a whole lot of Eldraine-y stuff when I was playing that.
They did not
like,
use
I get to play
the adventure mechanic.
Yay.
And the adventure mechanic was like
that's the whole
iconic
thing, yeah.
in Eldraine for me.
And thank you for the bits pie. Yes, even though we had noticed, thank you for the bits.
Yeah.
And
as always, Pie, we appreciate the bits.
yeah, we always appreciate the bits.
Thank you very much. Oh, okay.
So I am playing black-white.
Oh, here, I'll give you a plains.
My black-white is
and a
not
swamp.
necessarily super synergistic, but hopefully it will do fun things every once in a while. I'm putting 2 Saugas in my deck just to have them. I
Saugas
kind
are
of
interesting.
wish I had opened more black zombies because I opened Timurit Calls the Dead, which fires off on zombies.
Nifty.
Yeah, I'm using all but 1 of my green cards in my deck.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a lot of synergy going on in my deck. I've got a bunch of stuff with Constellation.
Me too.
And a bunch of stuff and a bunch of enchantment creatures.
Me too.
So like almost every turn, if my deck fires as intended, I should be playing an enchantment.
And I'm playing with the guy that makes the goat token. So at this point I'm like, I would have liked to have built something with synergy, but I didn't open a whole lot of synergy. But I sure opened the dude that makes the goat token.
Go you.
So guess what I'm gonna play with? I'm going to also play with the foil planes that we got,
Sure.
because why not?
Might give you luck.
Who knows? I mean, probably
So wait,
not,
are you going
but-
straight green, Andy?
No, I'm green-blue.
Okay.
That's a very on-brand color combo.
Yeah, Simic is my thing.
Hey! How's it going, Jen?
Oh, hey. Welcome.
You don't know what most of the words, but goat token sounds cool. It looks cool too. Andy, can you show off the goat token?
I'll show off the goat token again. I showed it. It's one of the few cards that we've shown off on Zoom cam tonight.
You're bruised. Yeah, you are yet one more person for whom this has been a really rough week.
Yeah.
It has been a rough week
Jen,
for
check
a lot
out
of my
this
friends.
0-1 goat. That's a lot of horns for one goat.
Yeah,
you
it's
go.
sure a lot of goat. All right, let's see what I need for the rest of my lands. John, do you have any swamps or plains you're not using that you
is a
opened?
good question. I have a swamp right here.
Cool, I'll take it.
There you go.
Neat. Are you doing green-white?
I am doing green-white, yeah.
That makes sense.
So, if you folks need to go downstairs to grab lands, just don't forget to turn your mics off.
No problem.
Because these wireless mics do have some range.
They do. You can get all the way out of the building.
I'm just sleeving up all of my remaining rares because I'm that kind of person.
Oh,
I don't know, I like having my rares in sleeves.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah, I had no rares in blue.
5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12.
So, one thing that always happens to me is
I'll go 50.
when I'm doing a sealed or a draft event, I get super confident about my deck. I'm like, this deck, I'm so behind it. It's going to do so well. And then I lose every game.
4 and
It's
6.
when I'm not super thrilled with my deck that I'm like, this
That
deck
goat
is
looked
kind of
awesome.
average.
Yeah. John, what do you need for lands? And I will.
I need at least, I think, another... what do I have? 26 cards right now. We need 40?
40 is the minimum, yes.
Okay.
So 17 land. Oh, 26?
Yeah, I have 26 cards with 3 lands.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dozen lands,
You want me to get?
6 forests, 6 plants.
Sure.
So the story I was saying, when I am confident in my deck, I get slaughtered. And when I'm like, this deck is okay, I go undefeated. I'm just maybe bad at judging decks. I think part of the problem is I am very much a player who likes cool combos and interesting card interactions. Man, that Croxa. Oh man, you opened well with that.
It didn't seem nice, so what do you do?
I'm putting it in my pile.
Those are your side stuff.
Yeah, this is cards I'm not using. I think, so when I'm confident in a deck, it's because it's got some cool interaction in it that I'm like really excited about. I can't wait for this thing to happen. And then it doesn't happen because there's a 1 in like 20 chance that it'll actually work. When it does work, I'm like, yeah, that was amazing. But if I'm playing, 8 games in a night, and there's a 1 in 20 chance that my deck is going to go off, odds are I'm not going to see that interaction.
Oh, you're just talking with sealed events or with
Yeah.
in general? Okay. I don't normally play sealed events or anything.
But when I build a deck that's sort of, in my mind, mediocre, it's because it's a perfectly good deck. It does some stuff, and then I play well enough that it wins a bunch of games, and I'm like, okay, fine.
No, I totally understand. You want originality. You want to win with flair.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I like to go with a lot of stuff. That's why I love Scrambles. Scrambles is the best deck on the I haven't even played Scrambles. The Scrambleverse deck?
I don't remember. No, I'm not familiar with it.
We played against each other.
Oh, that's the modern deck that you had. It played my deck well. So we played on stream
What was it?
when Throne of Eldraine came out.
Yes.
John and I each brought a modern deck to play.
Because I literally made it in preparation for that event.
Uh-huh.
Like, what cards do I want to use? And I'm like, I'll use modern stuff because I don't know anything new.
Right.
So I found like just one card that I liked and I tried to build the deck around it. And I did.
Yeah.
The card is a card called Scrambleverse.
And boy, did it scramble my verse.
So what it does is it's similar to Amanda's Planeswalker. What was it called? The one that allowed you basically take control of all of your enemy's creatures.
Yeah.
It was that, but completely randomized, and I just got incredibly lucky. Because Scrambleverse does is you literally scramble the board. It's like dropping all the chess pieces, and everyone has to pick up their own sets. You randomize who gets what creatures, and you just pass them out. Unfortunately, we literally just swapped creatures when I had one creature and you had about 6.
And you had something on the board that didn't let me play any more creatures.
Currency.
Yeah. So that was kind of hilarious.
Planes and some forest for you, my good sir.
So what do you guys want to do in terms of playing against each other?
Whose mic is not on? Who is super quiet?
7? Oh, I'm super quiet. Is that right? Oh, it was on. Now it's off.
So John.
Okay, so that story was on.
John just told an entire story about his Scrambleverse deck, and it was completely inaudible.
Pretty much. Check out the previous playthrough.
Yeah, if you check out the links below, there's
extra swamp.
There's links to our YouTube channel, and one of the YouTube playlists is Magic games. It should be the most recent Magic game in the playlist because we don't do Magic an awful lot on stream.
No, we don't. Magic is like pre-releases or bundle rumbles.
Scrambles. The death dealer.
But I do want to play more Magic on stream. It's just sort of an organizational thing.
Yeah.
We mentioned the Vault earlier. I have a box of Theros Beyond Death that I'm putting into the Vault. The Vault is a collection of unopened, sealed Magic product that Amanda and I have been gathering for about 7 years now.
Oh my.
Longer.
The oldest product in it is a box of M13.
Wow.
Okay.
So maybe that's
I thought we had some older stuff in there.
But my intention with the Vault has always been that we would get some folks together and play. I've got a whole bunch of pre-release packs. The earliest pre-release packs I have in the Vault are 6 packs of Return to Ravnica. 6 Return to Ravnica pre-release packs.
Oh. Cool.
So my theory with the Vault is we'll get some folks together and play some casual fun time Magic from the past.
Return to Ravnica released on October 5th, 2012.
Holy damn. 8 years ago.
Yeah. You have a hard time finding people to play with in general. I'm very picky about who I play with because people can be not fun to play with sometimes in organized play. So I get nervous about it. My very first pre-release experience, it wasn't horrible, it wasn't bad, but
This was Abington Restored?
Yeah, this was Abington. My second opponent did not speak a single word to me throughout the entire game, our whole match. I walked up and introduced myself. I was like, "Hi, I'm Amanda. It's my first pre-release." And his response was,
"Meh."
I was like, "Oh, okay, it's gonna be like that. Cool." He had a really nasty Phoenix that goes back to your hand.
It was a dragon.
Was it a dragon?
Yeah.
It goes back to your hand at the end of your turn. It's like at your end step, it goes back to your hand, which means that your only chance to take it out is with like instants or things with flash.
Okay.
because it's not out during your turn. It's only out during its controller's turn. And he was kicking my butt with it. And I asked, I was like, can I take a look at that and see it? And he was like, and I was like, that's not a yes or a no. You have to, like, and his sleeves were matte surface, and I couldn't really see, like, I couldn't read it I can read upside down. I am a children's librarian. I have to be able to read things that are down here while I look down at them. I can read upside down, but reading upside down with like grungy looking sleeves and small print is not easy. So yeah, yeah. Oh, it's kind of a cheap trick, definitely. But he was definitely. It felt like he felt like I was a waste of his time. That I was obviously a noob, and I wasn't a noob because like I played back in Fallen Empire's era. Like I've played Magic for a long time, but I hadn't played like the newer versions of anything, and he knew that I was not going to be a match for his deck. I had not opened well enough. And he didn't really feel like giving me the time of day. And that was a bit of a bummer because it's a pre-release. It's supposed to be semi-casual, fun Magic. A pre-release should be to get people hyped for the set and to sort of come in and be like, oh, it's a waste of my time to play against noobs. Is like, it's a bummer. It's a bummer. Yeah, bad first impression. Fortunately for me, I had already been drafting at this store long enough that I knew that was atypical for a lot of the other players. That the drafters, especially at the time, we had that one guy who unfortunately has moved away, but he was like one of the best ambassadors for Magic that this store has ever seen, which was really awesome. He was a really great guy, and you know, he would beat you. He didn't pull his punches while you were playing, but afterwards he would sit down and be like, okay, do you want any help with your deck? Because I noticed a couple of things that you didn't quite do to your best advantage, and do you want me to help you like rework things? And he was really awesome about explaining why his deck had done what it did and how you could get your deck to be better. And he wasn't a jerk about it. He was really nice, and he was really welcoming. So I'd already played with him a bunch.
See the cards I gave you just a second
ago?
They're in the stack here.
Okay. I need to add one more. I messed up my math.
Oh, okay.
So that I needed 12.
Yeah, I remember Amanda and I got back into Magic during what's it called?
It was during Dark Ascension. Dark Ascension had just come out.
Yes.
Because we wanted to get a Fat Pack, as they were known at the time, and they were all out. So we bought a box instead.
So we had two boxes of Dark Ascension and one box of Innistrad. At least. I remember building some very basic standard decks.
Yeah, 100%.
And we brought them in here, well, not this location, but to Battleground.
Yeah.
To
the former Battleground Abington. Yeah.
We actually played draft a little while, and then I got into standard.
Yeah.
And I remember my first standard event, I played against an Infect elf deck.
Oh, that Infect deck. I know whose deck that was, too.
And you played against a Birthing Pod deck.
Yeah.
And we were like, I think maybe we're not ready for standard.
We're not ready for standard yet. Because the Mirrodin Besiege stuff was still in standard, and it was vile. It was really vile. But in general, the people that were playing
had just come out.
Yeah, Snapcaster was brand new. We have like what, 3 Snapcasters?
Yeah, we have 3.
Yeah, we never got a play set, but we have 3. We got back into Magic. We had both played years and years and years before. Unfortunately, did not have our old cards. I had given my cards to my brother when I stopped playing because he was still super into it, and I was like, I'm not going to play again. I'm going to college. And no one that I knew in college played, so, you know. And it was like, oh, Cold Snap. Ice Age came out, and I was like, okay.
But you had a revised Tundra.
But yeah, I had a revised Tundra. I had a revised
Volcanic Island?
No, I never had a Volcanic Island. I did have a the black blue. The Volcanic Island is black red.
Yes.
Or blue red.
Blue red. Yeah.
I had the like Underground Sea. And I had a Bayou.
Yeah.
That's the black green. And I know this because I actually have a journal that I had at the time where I had written out my deck lists of the decks that I had built. And I had my dual lands. And I gave them away to my brother.
And we never saw them again.
Never saw them again. He did give me a shoebox full of cards that included a revised Tundra that I hadn't had. I had a Taiga. I didn't have a Tundra.
Yeah.
Okay. Good night, Pie.
Night, Pie.
It's good
Thanks
to
for
see
joining
you,
us.
friend.
Okay, I decided the name of my deck.
We will talk to you all.
Horns, Cats, and Enchantments.
Yeah.
What is it?
Horns, Cats, and Enchantments.
Horns, Cats, and Enchantments. My deck is called From Beyond the Stars.
Okay.
What's yours called, Amanda?
Mine's called Guard Dog.
Guard Dog.
Thank you for the bits. You are now Bit Queen.
Nice job.
Bit Empress.
John, do you want to play?
Sure.
Yeah, they were good cards
How
to
do we
have.
do
I
it
didn't
with
know
3 players?
Tundra and Bayou. The Tundra, so we got this shoebox full of cards from my brother. He was like, "Oh, hey, I found some old cards. You can have them." So I was going through them. We vaguely went through them when he gave them to us. We didn't have a time to like very minutely go through them. And then I brought them in, and I was talking to one of the guys here who at the time was like running a lot of the Magic stuff, and I was like, "Hey, could you just take like a quick sift through here and let me know if you see any money or anything that's like currently playable in like, you know, Modern or Commander or something?" And he pulled out. I think I had a Demonic Tutor.
Oh, nice.
In there. There's an Italian Maze of Ith in there.
Labyrinto di It.
Labyrinto di Ith. There's a handful of good cards in there. Balance, I think we have.
Nice.
A revised Balance. So yeah, there were a handful of playable cards that, yeah, you want to have those for certain Commander decks or Modern decks. And then he was like, yeah, okay. You didn't see this
And
earlier.
that was the Taiga?
And it was a Tundra.
The Tundra, yeah.
It's moderate play at best, but it's still a revised Tundra. So.
Amanda, do you mind swapping with John if he's going to play so that he can be on camera?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Okay. Should I get it out of the way?
You can use the fancy Eldraine.
It looks
play
very
mat.
nice.
Isn't it really pretty?
Very Arthurian.
Just unplug myself.
Yeah.
Come here. I am going to move your coat, John, so I have
fine.
more of a chair to.
Sorry about that.
No worries.
All right, here we go.
Can you hand me my water and my phone, please?
Yes, here you are.
Water?
Thank you.
All right, Amanda, you are table friend.
Table friend. Yeah, so it was definitely nice to get not my cool cards back, but some of his cool cards. I did tell him, I was like, "Oh, guess what? You gave me."
Yeah. Do you want to roll for first, John?
Sure. 1 or 2, how many dice?
I usually do 2.
So yeah, we
Alright,
had
two.
played before. We had just been out of it for a while.
I got
we picked
6, 10.
Oh, you beat me with 1 die. I got a 6.
100% we picked the
Okay.
right time to get back into it, though. Because we got back into it just when they announced Return to Ravnica at PAX East.
That's right. They were previewing.
We went to, they were doing a bunch of Avacyn previews,
Yeah.
and we went to see the Magic the Gathering panel. We were like, we're getting back into Magic, let's go to the panel. So we go to the panel, and we get seats, which was awesome. And they gave out Avacyn Restored lands, which was really neat.
Well, they said everybody who comes
everyone's gonna get an
gets
Avacyn card. They
restored
gave out
card.
lands.
Nice.
They were basics.
They were basic lands, but the Avacyn basic
draw.
lands are really cool
7.
because they're the lit versions of the Innistrad lands, which is really neat. You go to PAX West every year? That's really cool. We have not been to West. We go to East every year because the store goes, but we haven't been to West. Someday.
I'm going to
Someday
regret
West,
it if I keep
someday
this.
South.
But I'm on the draw, so I'm going to keep
Jealous
it.
of everyone at South right now.
So I do not draw.
Correct.
Okay.
And John, your mic pack is on camera.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
But yeah, so we go to the panel and they're like,
Okay.
all right, so thanks everyone for coming and thanks for seeing what we've got going on with Avison Restore. We're really excited about it. And to give you a little hint of what's happening coming up next, and they put up a slide and it was, massive screen, and it said Return to Ravnica, and the room exploded.
Went wild.
Every single person on their feet, everyone cheering, shouting, screaming, yeah, yeah. Everyone was so excited. And Andy and I were like,
what's this Ravnica?
what's Ravnica? And they
I'm
had
play
some
an
art
island.
that they were playing, they showed,
It's a
and it was
Nick's
like,
Island.
Nice.
okay, I guess we picked the right time to get back into Magic.
And then I'm going
This
to
was a good choice
tap
for
my
us.
island to play a Sage of Mysteries.
3 hours from where you live. Yeah, PAX East for us is right in Boston, and we're just outside of Boston.
Yeah.
So,
Fun.
So if you're ever at PAX East, come
Yeah.
say hi.
yeah, if you ever
Battleground
come
booth in the
to the
tabletop
other
hall.
side of the country, Battleground Games and Hobbies has a booth at the in the tabletop vendor area. If you ever go to Unplugged, which Andy and I never get to go to because it's at a really bad time of year, and someone has to stay behind and mind the store. But if you're at PAX Unplugged, Battleground does have a booth, or has in the past had a booth at PAX Unplugged. So if you happen to go to that in the future. So Andy has put out
My Sage of Mysteries. She
Ooh,
is a
what does she
creature
do?
human wizard, a 0/2 with Constellation. Whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under my control, target player puts the top 2 cards of their library into their graveyard. Wouldn't be great against you,
No,
but I'm hoping
sure
it'll be
wouldn't.
good against John.
So,
No, it's not an enchantment, so yes, it's your turn. Go ahead and draw.
okay, I shall play a Plains, and I will tap 2. Bring out my Hero of the Pride. Whenever I cast a spell that targets my Hero of the Pride, creatures I control get +1 is +0 till end of turn.
Neat.
2/2.
Maybe one day you live in Washington. Yeah, Washington State is, PAX West would definitely be convenient. Maybe someday. Or maybe someday we'll head out to PAX West. We'll
I would
mention it on
love to go to
stream,
PAX West.
and we'll meet you. Who knows? Anything could happen.
Tapping my island.
Okay.
Eidolon of Philosophy.
I've been thinking I
It is
definitely
an
need
enchantment,
something
so mill
to
2.
wear on my lanyard that has my Twitch name on it, so that when I meet
Plains and
people
Dawn
from
and
streams
Resolve.
that I follow, they know who I am in the chat. Because, yeah, otherwise, how would you know?
Pass.
I think, so, something that gaming conventions don't do as much, but like sci-fi, fantasy, and reading conventions do. Definitely my
never untapped your
professional
lands.
conferences do this, is at the bottom of your badge, they hand out sometimes ribbons that have an adhesive backing. They go horizontal, and they have an adhesive backing on the top, and you're supposed to layer them. So some people end up with like these things of ribbons about yay long that have various like groups that they're part of or things that they've signed up for. So you end up with like all your professional organizations listed. Yeah, ribbons, Jen. So yeah, the medical ones are ridiculous with ribbons. Yeah, the library ones are ridiculous with ribbons too. Yeah, I think it would be handy if like Twitch handed out purple ribbons that you could get your name like slapped onto. I think that would be
will
super
attack.
cool.
What is it?
I will attack.
Yes, but what is its power and toughness?
2/2.
I'll take the 2.
Okay.
Andy is down to 18. Yeah, I think it would be super useful, but I may just make myself a button to stick on
It is your turn.
my lanyard.
Okay. Zoop. Zoop. Zoop.
Stick it with my pronoun pin, which I don't have yet, but I should.
Okay, what do I want to do?
Which
with my
way do you
3
want
mana?
to go? You want to learn the 3D printer? I need to find someone who has a 3D printer and an AutoCAD system that I can use with it to make a specific
Your
thing.
choker?
Yeah.
All right, I am tapping 3
Okay.
It's so noisy
for
downstairs.
Eutropia, the Twice Favored.
Ooh.
It is a legendary creature human wizard with Constellation. Whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under my control, put a
that would be
+1/+1 counter on target creature. That creature gains flying until end of turn.
Okay.
He is not an enchantment, so he does not trigger my Sage.
Yep.
I will attack with my Eidolon for 1.
I will take it.
Okay.
And then
Pass.
I will cast with
Uh-oh.
Flash.
Flash!
Turn 3.
It's like a surprise!
The Omen of the Sun enchantment.
Okay.
Aha!
What'd
yes,
you do?
I
There's
have
an
that.
enchantment. When Omen of the Sun enters play, I get 2 human soldiers. 1/1.
I have.
Oh, I have
human
soldier
soldiers.
tokens.
Okay, cool.
Where's my deck?
Is it this?
No, my deck is
your regular
sleeved.
deck.
Oh, it's right here. And you know what? There are human soldier creature
Hey,
tokens
thank you.
right with my deck.
Perfect.
There should be 3 of them total.
Yes.
There you go.
All right. I'm able to sacrifice the Omen if I wish to to scry 2.
That
Okay.
would be amazing,
But I gotta pay.
Jen.
All right. Now everything stands.
Hang it right off the bottom
Draw.
of the badge.
Okay, I will play a forest. I will tap 1, 2, 3. Siona, captain of the Pyles, or Pyles?
Pyleus.
Pyleus.
think.
Her ability is when she enters play, I draw the top 7 cards of my deck. If I
Will you look at the top 7
look at the
cards
top
of your
7,
deck?
yeah. If I find an aura, I get to add it to my hand.
Okay. And the
may
rest go on the
reveal an
bottom in
aura
a random order.
From among
Yes.
them, put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order.
I got Indomitable Will. It goes straight to my hand.
Okay.
And whenever an aura you control becomes attached to a creature you control, you create a 1 white human soldier creature token.
Yepper.
This feels like an Elspeth thing. All these white human soldiers.
The rest of these go to the bottom of my deck.
Yep.
Yeah, Kill Switch. My Twitch handle is a handle I use in a bunch of other places, and I've
Then
been using
I'll
it for
tap my
years
planes.
now.
Yep.
Sentinel of
Speaking
the
of
Eyes
which, I
is an enchantment aura, so I get another human soldier.
Yep.
It gives my creature +1/+1 and vigilance.
I'm your chat mod. Hi.
Okay.
So, boom. And because I chose to do so on Hero of the Pride, all other creatures I control get +1/+1 for the turn. Or +1/+0.
Okay. That was a thing. Yes.
Yes. So I'm going to swing.
Doesn't tap because it's got vigilance.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I am your chat mod as well. That's me.
3, 2, 2.
No blocks.
How much you taking?
I'm taking 7.
7, yes.
And then the +1/+1s go away except for the one that's on your
Except
cat.
for vigilance.
Yeah. All right. All right.
I like the lands. These
Oh,
Nyx
these
lands?
Nyx lands.
they're gorgeous.
Yeah.
They're just really nice.
The thing that always gets me when people are like, new things, I'm so scared of them. This is specific to this set.
So
The
I've
Nyx lands.
seen some folks saying that the Nyx lands, there were people complaining, oh, it doesn't look like a land. But there's also people saying it is so easy to read and understand. You
It's
look
so
at that.
clear. You know exactly what it is.
Yeah.
It's more like the Pokemon energy cards.
Oh, yeah.
I love the land art, and I doubt because I highly doubt that they're going to do full art mana every set.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to do it. I think they'll do a mix like they've done in a lot of other things where they're not always going to do exactly the same thing. Oh God, the foils are so beautiful. They're so pretty.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting a bundle. because the bundle comes with a set of foils.
Yeah.
Okay, I have decisions to make here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cast in first main a Nyx Herald.
Oh, what is
What
it?
does a Nyx Herald do?
Nyx
Andy?
Herald is a enchantment creature centaur shaman. It's a 2/3.
That's a mouthful.
And at the beginning of combat on my turn, target enchantment creature or enchanted creature that you control gets +1/+1 and gains trample until end of turn. Now, 2 of my things have constellation. So,
Yes.
Eutropia
+1/+1.
puts a +1/+1 counter and gives flying to a thing.
Neat.
So I'll put it on that.
Okay.
And then Sage of Mysteries, you mill 2.
I mill another Plains and a Leone of the Lost Pride.
Okay,
Same
Leonid
card
of
you
the
used
Lost Pride.
before, yeah.
Yep. I'm going to. And then moving to combat,
Okay.
I give +1/+1 to. What do you have? You have
Yeah,
a
the 10
1/1
boosters.
human?
3/3.
Yeah.
1/1.
So we
and
actually
2/2.
have an event here at Battleground called the Bundle Rumble, and this will happen
I'm gonna target
during
my
the release
Twice favored
next week.
Okay.
and swing for 4 in the air.
Okay. I do not block.
Do you have something with reach or flying?
No.
Okay.
Andy, Bundle
Yes.
Rumble next week?
Yes, next Friday.
Bundle Rumble. So one of the things we do here is a Bundle
Pass.
Rumble,
Thank you.
which means your buy-in to the event is you buy a bundle.
Ooh.
That's what you do. You buy a bundle. And then you can use your bundle and only your bundle to build a sealed deck, and you play against other people. There is no real other prize payout for the event unless you get first place.
Okay.
Is it first place and second place, basically?
No, it's just first place.
Okay, just first place. First place gets another bundle, right? And the plaque. And we have a whole row of plaques downstairs. You get to keep it, or you can hang it in the store for other people to see and look upon
Don't
with
forget
awe
to untap your humans.
and fear.
Yes. Sorry.
Yeah, the whole idea is that it's
Right
fun
now,
to do regardless of whether you win. But also, one of the reasons why there's only payout for the winner is because we want people to actually stick around and play it out. There's no reason to split on this because there's nothing to split. You cannot split the plaque. The plaque is
Tapping
plaque.
1/2.
Yep.
it's got one name on it.
Another enchantment.
Phenomenal.
And it's got the name of the set, and it's got one of the promo
has,
cards, and it's got your name
+2
as
attack.
Bundle Rumble winner of that
+2
set's
defense.
Bundle Rumble.
So it is now a 4/4 with vigilance.
John's board looks real
This
good.
creature, I get another human, but I don't think we have any more humans.
Yeah, I think. Oh, Andy has human soldiers.
Thank you, Andy. I'll just make a little room.
So many humans, Andy.
And all your creatures get +1/+0. Is it +1/+0 or
John-
+1/+1?
John's board
plus
looking
one, plus
real
one.
good.
Yeah, he's
+1
got all
+0.
the-
0. Sorry.
I'm very glad I'm not playing against this, but it's fun to watch. That would be fun. Plus, you have Bundle Rumble bragging rights. Exactly. That's the whole idea. Is that you get the bragging rights of having won that Rumble, and we have a couple of people who have won multiple
1,
Rumbles.
2.
And everyone knows
3,
they've won a couple of Rumbles, so that's who you gun
Can't with that
for.
one. It's got summoning
Oh yes,
sickness.
this one has something sickness.
You gun for the people that are
5. All right,
habitual
so
winners,
2,
because you don't
4,
want them getting another.
8, 12, 10, 12.
Blocks?
Well, I have to.
Yeah.
I've
otherwise
got
that's
11
game.
life.
Oh, I didn't see your health value.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's at 11.
All right, so my Herald is going to block one of your humans.
Okay. Anyone in particular you wish to get
Doesn't
rid of?
matter.
Okay. I'll get rid of this one.
My Eidolon, my Sage is going to block your 6/6.
It's a 4/4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm still blocking that.
Yeah, you
Okay.
can't allow that. You can't have someone just
so-
taking every
So
bundle.
we've still got
That's not right.
3 2/2 humans coming at me.
Yes, essentially, and one legendary creature.
I'll
Well,
block
one legendary
one
creature.
of them
Switch.
with the
Question
Eidolon
for
of
you.
Philosophy.
How'd you
So
find us?
these
Out of
die.
curiosity.
Does my
one of
human
your
soldier?
humans dies.
Okay, one human.
And
dies.
I take 4.
Yes. And my vigilance.
No, I
stands
take
up.
2. No, I
you
blocked that and
blocked
one
one.
human.
Blocked one human.
Yes, so I take 4.
You take 4. Okay.
Yeah.
Then phase 2.
Yes.
Tap 2. I'm gonna play
Main.
Birth of Methyl.
Play it on camera.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Where's a good place to keep Saugus? Same
Doesn't
place
matter.
as Auras?
Yeah.
Sure.
Probably.
All right. So if I understand right, when I draw a card, I'll be able to get the first effect. Is that
No,
right?
It's your upkeep.
Yeah, sagas happen once each turn. They're like an
After your draw step,
Okay.
add a lore counter. So it's your draw step happens, then this happens.
Gotcha.
So it can't happen later in the turn.
Okay.
So your next turn after you draw, you get to search your library for a basic planes card, reveal it, put it into your hand, and then shuffle your library. Eventually, you get to gain 2 life.
Yep. But yeah.
We were looking
you've
for
got a
live
Saga on the
pre-release
board.
events where people were building decks, and we were actually building decks.
Yeah.
So you stuck around.
awesome.
Thank
right.
you for sticking
Andy,
around.
it
We
is your
appreciate
go.
it.
Okay.
Oh, nuts. I have a
Is that you or
4/4.
me?
Mine.
Okay.
A 4/4 and it's 1/1. These all disappear now.
Andy was saying we don't normally play a whole lot of Magic on this Friday night stream. We're normally board game players on the
Yeah.
Friday nights, but it's pre-release, so gotta play.
Test out some
Gotta
of
have
these
some
new
magical
cards.
cards. May I recommend to you, though, if you haven't already watched them, I don't know if you are aware of them or have watched their videos, but Loading Ready Run, which is a sketch comedy and video production group out of Victoria. They have a relationship with Wizards of the Coast. They have done a series of humorous videos about Magic called Friday Nights. And they ran last week the pre-release, which they get access to the cards a week before the pre-release. And they invite guests up to their offices and play what is basically a pre-release the week before the pre-release, and use it as a chance for people to get to see the cards, to see them played in action and played against each other. And they also do deck tech. So they build one deck on camera at the beginning of the event, and then throughout the rest of the day, after each round, someone in the group will show off their deck and explain what they opened, how they decided to build their deck, and what their deck is supposed to do, whether it ever fired off or not. And their stuff is up all on YouTube after the fact. So I would highly recommend checking them out if you haven't already, because they are well worth looking into. Because they get a lot of really cool guests going up and playing Magic with them. They always have someone from Wizards, or almost always have someone from Wizards, join them for
That's
the
pretty
pre-release who plays. They have cosplayers, they have professional players, they have a lot of different people from the Magic community, and they themselves are really funny people and fun to watch, and they play fun games. So highly recommended. Fun for you because you can actually stick around for the pre-release. Yeah, kids.
Yeah,
Kids will do that. You've seen some of the Friday Nights Magic videos, but not much else. Check out their pre-release stuff.
I'm gonna play
They
a
do one for almost every
Loathsome
set
Chimera.
these days.
It is a 4/1 with escape 4 and for 4 and a green,
Okay.
and exile 3 others.
What'd you play, Jen?
Pass to you.
Okay. I will draw. And, first I untap.
Command deck?
Yep, you
Cool.
untap and then your Saga.
Saga.
So put a Saga counter on.
It's kind of funny. Up on
okay,
that
so
screen,
one.
the
So
two
what
of you
happens?
have the same color, but down here you don't.
Search your library for a
On
planes
Mars.
card. But it says after your draw step, so should I draw first, then search?
Yes, so finish untapping all your stuff.
Untap everything. I drew my card just then.
Yep, so now search for planes.
Planes.
Said it was
Yes.
elaborate. On Mars. Have you heard of that one, Andy?
On Mars?
Yeah.
No.
It says it.
Oh, like
may
the
have
God Mars?
just come out.
No,
No.
a game, a board game.
Oh,
on Mars.
I've heard of First Martians, but I don't know on Mars. Ooh.
90 to 150 minute playtime.
There you go. That's a game.
Yeah,
What do you
that'll definitely
That's
take
your
you some
plane that
time.
you just drew?
Yep.
Yeah, it looks like it's fairly
that
new.
creature still
From
has flying?
Portugal would make
No.
sense.
Okay.
It only gains flying until end of turn when an enchantment enters the battlefield.
Okay.
Yeah, the Board Game Geek complexity rating
The counter stays on it, though.
is
All
the
right.
complexity rating is 4.5 out of 5.
Sounds tough.
I'm going to do something, and I want
no.
you to tell me
John
if
is
this
doing
is
a thing.
legal. If
All
this
right.
is legal, otherwise I might need
It's
to
3
tell me
hours
back.
and you're maybe 60%
Do you want to call in
through.
Amanda?
That sounds a lot
Amanda,
like
John needs a judge call.
Amanda,
a couple of the other things
this
that we've
effect,
played.
if I were to use the creature with vigilance for that, would the creature with vigilance untap again?
So a creature with vigilance does not tap.
That's the thing.
Okay.
I need to make sure.
That's the complexity
I gotcha,
in
I
question
gotcha, I
here.
gotcha.
You would agree with that rating?
Okay.
All right, let's see.
Because this is a combo I had in mind, but I didn't know if it was legal, so I wanted to make sure.
Gotcha.
Otherwise, I'm going to play another card.
I feel like I'm not in a very good state here.
So is Neela?
I may have stabilized.
Or Nylea?
Yeah.
Are they a
Goddess of the
planeswalker?
Hunt. What?
Are they a planeswalker? In
I don't think so. She's a goddess.
Okay. Oh, so they're a separate thing. I saw there was demigod, goddess, and legendary enchantment. So they're actually a part of the.
Yes, Theros has gods.
Okay.
And the gods in the original Theros block had the same mechanic that the gods in this set have, which is that they are enchantments when they enter the battlefield, but not creatures unless you have enough devotion to make them creatures.
Okay.
And there was a bunch of them. There's Perforos, Nylea, what's his name? And and a bunch of them.
Okay, cool.
But yeah.
Okay, so from what I can tell, John,
Okay.
to do this, it would tap to do that
Okay.
and would untap as normal during your next untap. So,
Okay. Just making sure.
yeah,
Thank you.
vigilance only keeps it from tapping for attacking.
Gotcha. Okay.
Otherwise, the tapping happens, but then untapping happens. Vigilance doesn't affect untapping,
Yeah.
Okay.
is the point.
Gotcha. Making sure. Okay.
It's a weird blend of cooperative and swiping resources. Scythe plus Brass plus Terra Mystica plus Gen 9. What an interesting and complex combo.
I've played at least 2 of those
That
games.
feels real heavy.
Man.
I'll look into it.
Yeah, we'll have to find it.
All right. So I am tapping 5 mana.
So, John,
Yes.
you're into games.
Yes.
You saw that the Kickstarter for Dark Tower started
I
this
did.
week?
Did you guys get into it?
Not yet.
Okay.
We will.
We're gonna.
That's what I was going to ask before I did anything.
So I actually had a coworker. I was up in the reference department the other day
Yes,
for
what are
a
you doing,
meeting.
John?
Nyla's intervention.
Okay, what
This
does it
card's
do?
effect is I choose one of the following. The cost is X 2 forest.
So X equals 3 right now.
The one I was wondering about was Nyla's intervention deals X times 2 damage to every flying creature, but I'm not using that.
Because I have no flying creatures
Yes.
currently.
The other one is search your library for X land cards, reveal them, and put them into your hand. The rest are your
So
deck.
you get 3 lands in your hand.
Yep.
So yeah, I was up in the reference department, and people know that I play board games, and now I am running a board game program at work. So
It doesn't
this
say basic
has
ones
been
either.
a thing.
That's pretty good.
So one of my coworkers who knows that I'm doing that said, "Hey Amanda, how do you feel about kickstarting board games?" And I said, "Well, kickstarting board games is a sort of
So 2
thorny
forests and a
situation,
plains?
2
but
forests and a plains.
Okay.
I wouldn't be against it. Depends on the game." And he goes, "Well, there's one right now." I was like, "Dark Tower," and he was like, "Yup."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yup."
Yeah.
You already placed a plains this turn, so.
I did, yes.
Yeah.
I figured I'd try to get some deck thing going.
Yeah.
Then I am going to.
What's that time travel game you have that's super complicated?
Oh,
that was a long form.
The one
game.
where you send resources back in time.
Yes.
Yeah. What was that?
That was fun.
It was fantastic. I can't remember what it's called now. Anachrony.
Anachrony.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Anachrony. That was so much fun. I would love to play that again.
That's probably one of our biggest, like most complex games
Yes.
that we have.
And it's not even that complex. It's a worker
just-
placement game
It's
with resource
long
management
term.
and the ability to steal resources from the future, which I thought was a fantastic
Complex.
mechanic.
Andy's like, oh, it's not complex, but you can steal resources from the future, and it's got worker placement, and it's got resource management. It's complex.
Okay, whatever.
One thing I've really enjoyed with the recent outbreak with Kickstarter games is Game Trays is getting on a lot of them.
Yeah.
Game Trays I really love. They made the insert for
Wasteland Express delivery service.
But I've just basically supported like 3 games recently just because they made Game Trays.
And it's like this game is going to have a wonderfully built box.
And Mountain King is one of them.
Nice.
We have to
It's
play that. We'll do
perfect
that next week, I think.
Eventually.
Don't you think? Do
Okay.
you have plans for next week?
No, though there is a Friday this month that I will not be able to join.
Okay.
Is there any game you don't want to play?
I don't know.
Is
I'll
a
look.
Great question.
The
Oh, yeah, I'm so
31st.
sorry.
I will not be joining y'all because
I'll go with my
I have a
four.
holiday party for work.
Vigilance.
I will block with my loathsome chimera. It's a
Ooh,
4/1.
some-
Both die.
Yes.
I opened a Catobal.
Catobal Plus?
All right. It is now.
I opened it. I was
your
like, oh, it's
turn,
that
Andy.
card no one pronounces right.
Okay, another island.
Okay, cool.
Though not a pretty island, just a regular island.
Normal old island.
Somehow I ended up with a bunch of Cons islands. I don't know how that happened.
Just hit a pocket of cons.
I guess so.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
I was just going to do something, and now I don't remember what I was going to do. Oh, I know what I was going to do. What was I looking for on my computer?
Combat.
Okay.
What is that dude there?
This one?
Yeah.
Every time I play an aura, I spawn a soldier.
Okay. But what is his power and toughness?
2/2.
He's a 2/2. Okay. So I'm going to swing with Eutropia. It's a 3/3.
On my creature?
No, I'm swinging at you.
Oh, I do not block.
Okay. John takes 3. And then second main. Tap 3 for a Hydrax Tower Scout.
Okay. What's that?
When it enters the battlefield, untap target creature. Zoop!
Alright.
It is a 3/3 creature human scout.
Alright.
Past you. It is not an enchantment. Oh, I forgot this trigger. Do you guys mind? I had a miss
ahead.
trigger.
No, go ahead. We're
Beginning
in a
of
casual
combat,
here.
I target my Eutropia to give it +1/+1, so John takes an extra damage.
So I'm now to 2 of them. Alright.
Okay.
Untapped everything.
Yep.
Draw a card. Oh, nuts. It happened again. It keeps happening. I add another counter. So now I again search a light for plans?
What's
Do I
the second?
The second one is create a 0/4 colorless wall artifact creature.
Okay, you get a colorless wall artifact creature. I don't think I have a token for that.
Me neither. So I'm just going to put
Bunch
this
of
4
human
die
soldiers. Got a
out here. It has
tentacle.
defender.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have a colorless wall token. Did you get one, Amanda?
No, I did not.
I
Okay.
didn't.
So it's a 0/4.
Okay. Do you have any enchantment creatures?
Yes.
Which one?
The Nyx Herald is an enchantment creature. It's the one that's giving +1/+1 and trample
Okay.
at the beginning of combat.
Okay. Well, next I'm going to play a land.
Well, you have some of those in your hand. I know that.
Yepper.
Okay,
Okay.
it's 6.
Tap a plains, use Sentinel Eyes from the grave with escape, and exile 2 plains. This now has 1/1 and is vigilant.
And you get another creature, another
And I
human.
get another soldier. Okay. Then
Escape is such a fun mechanic.
it's a
It
cool
really
idea.
is.
Yeah. Now I've got the options. So
Just
if I
have-
chose, just as an example, if I
Yeah.
choose to destroy enchantment, I can destroy an enchantment creature?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
You could naturalize my Nyx Herald. It is a thing that could happen.
Okay. I am going to tap 2 to play Return to Nature.
Yep.
Choose 1, destroy target artifact, creature, enchantment, or exile target card in the graveyard. So I'll destroy your enchantment.
Okay.
And now on to combat. What is that stats?
This is a 3/3 and this is a 3/3.
Okay. At 1/3/3 with vigilance, I have soldier, 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 soldier. You're at 7, right?
I'm at 7, yes.
Oh, and I have a wall.
Yes, you
I
have a
gotta-
0/4 wall.
Defender. That right there. I'll play this. Tapping 1, 2, 3. Nyxborn Courser. He's an enchantment creature. Just a blank one, but it's a 2/4.
And unless I'm mistaken, you get another human.
Why is that?
Because you cast an enchantment?
Whenever whenever an aura you control becomes attached to a creature you control.
Oh, okay, okay.
That's why my
I
second
thought it
was.
had Constellation. No, it's just whenever you attach an aura to something.
I think that'd be way too powerful if it was just that. 3, 3, 1. Yeah, I will pass. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. Uh, 2, 4, 5.
Ooh, okay.
Exile 3 from grave.
Something big's coming.
Oh, you get your dog back.
My Chimera comes out with a +1/+1 counter on it, so it's
Okay.
a 5/2.
Okay.
Pass the turn.
Okay. Tap everything. I gain 2 life for my birth of my saga.
Yep, and your saga goes away.
Saga is gone.
Saga, the tale has been told.
Yes.
I did not draw the card. Oh. Well, ain't that great. Alright, gonna play Forest. I will play now a Pious Wayfarer. Whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under my control, I can target a creature. It gets +1/+1 till end of turn.
Okay.
And then I will cast with 1, 2, 3, 4. Thundering Chariot. It is a artifact vehicle. It has first strike, trample, and haste, and crew 1. So I will tap now
Any human.
1 soldier.
So it's crude.
Yep.
Yep.
So now it is a 3/3 with first strike, trample, and haste.
Yeah, it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So going with my chariot, courser,
What's your courser?
2/4, and yeah, let's go all in, all soldiers.
It's just swing.
Just
Swing.
big swing.
Oh.
All right, so 1, 1, 1, 3,
Three.
3, and 2.
Okay. Okay. My Tower Scout is going to block your vehicle.
All right.
Okay.
It has first strike and trample.
Oh, it's got first strike, right. Yeah. Yeah, I'm cool with that. Okay.
Okay.
My Chimera is going to block your enchanted dude.
Okay.
And Eutropia will block a human.
All right. So the human dies.
Yes.
The character here dies.
Yes, and my Chimera goes back to the graveyard.
The chariot has first strike.
Yep. So the Hydrax Tower Scout dies, but the chariot is fine.
All right, and you take 0 trample damage.
Correct, because it was a 3/3 and your guy had 3.
So you take
2, 3, 4.
Yep, 4 damage.
Okay. Amanda,
Oh, sorry.
I'm down to 3.
All right.
Woo. Okay. Okay. That's fine.
That is
That's
it.
fine.
It is your turn, Andy. That's why I was wondering about the vigilance thing.
Yeah.
Because if I could crew it and then,
Wanted to make sure the vigilant guy
I
untapped.
see. Yeah.
So.
I really like this card. It totally does not match the rest of my play style, but I just liked it, so I just added it.
I'm going to tap 4 for a Nyxborn Seaguard.
All right.
It's a 2/5.
Okay, what can I do?
I will.
What does it do?
It's just a 2/5.
Oh, okay.
It's an enchantment creature, Merfolk Soldier.
A lot of words.
But it is an enchantment, so Constellation fires.
Yep.
I'm going to put a +1/+1 counter on my Seaguard.
Okay.
And then I'm going to pass the turn.
Okay. I will untap everything. 5. Tap all my dudes.
Yeah.
Boo, boo. Okay. I draw. Okay. All right. I will play a Plains.
Okay.
I will tap said Plains. Bring back my Sentinel Eyes.
Does it need
exile 2
things
cards.
exiled?
2 cards. They do not matter to me.
Yep.
I shall put it on my Sporn Corrisor. So now it has 1/1 and Vigilance.
Yeah.
And my Pious Wayfarer goes off. So I can put a 1/1 on a soldier.
Yay!
I will tap soldier to make my charioteer come out.
Yep.
Crude. And once again, I will attack. 1. Oh, no, I'll keep that. I'll keep that up. 1, 2, 1, 3.
So 1, 2, 1, 3.
Sorry, this is 3, 2, 1, 3.
Okay. So my Seaguard is going to block your chariot.
Okay.
I'm at 3.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's game.
I think so.
Yeah, I don't think you can block enough of it to
Yeah.
to only take
Even
2.
if Eutropia blocks that guy,
Yep.
your 2 soldiers get through.
Yeah, there's not. I don't think there's a way that you can block more than 2.
You got
Or
me.
block.
All right.
So I got stuck at 1 forest.
Yeah,
I don't know
I
if you
noticed you
remember
got
when I
stuck.
was talking about when I was building my deck. I have 11 forests in my deck.
Oh, God.
And yet, they're just so heavy. It's all that wood.
Yeah. I have had Renata called to the hunt in my hand for a while.
Oh, wow.
Her power is equal to my devotion to green, and each other creature you control enters the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. So if I had gotten her out like 2 turns ago, that would have been a very different game.
Yeah.
But I just didn't have. She requires 2 and 2 green, and I had 1 forest.
I got the combo off early with...
And there's my next card. Was a forest. Just too late. That's fine.
Yeah,
I got
it
the
happens.
combo off early with these 2.
Yeah.
That
Oh
combo
man,
was really strong.
that was fun.
Yeah. But yeah, I was glad to
So it is
search
about
my deck.
10:30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should probably think about heading home.
Okay.
No doubt.
I had a lot of fun today.
That was fun.
I hope everybody had fun watching. I enjoy playing Magic, and I don't get to do it as often as I would like.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
I like casual Magic personally, so this is fun.
Hopefully I'll get a chance to play in the pre-release tomorrow.
Yep.
Not on stream, but, you know, I'm looking forward to playing more with these mechanics.
Yeah, Escape is a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I also look
that was
forward to
very
blocking
useful.
Escape. Not letting people use it.
Graveyard effects.
Exiling stuff from the graveyard.
Yeah.
Obviously the play is, if you have something that exiles at instant speed, let them pay their escape cost.
And then
in response,
Yeah.
exile their escaping card, so...
It's like, oh, no, you don't.
No.
Nah. Nah.
no one mind lying, but it's okay.
So, just to go through my deck,
Yeah.
since I'm not playing it.
Yeah.
So I went black-white because I had Kunoros, Hound of Athreos. So I was like, I gotta play the puppy. I gotta play that big three-headed puppy. So my deck was a bit of a kludge. Basically, my idea was, I don't want you to get to use Escape.
Okay.
And I want to have enough creatures to be just hitting you fairly frequently and not like getting bogged down.
John, can I have all the little dice?
So I had some auras. I had Sentinel's Eyes, which comes out for 1 white, so it's a cheap
That
aura.
was one of my
yeah, he
favorite
was using
auras.
that a lot.
It's real nice.
And,
+1/+1 in Vigilance, and it escapes.
Escapes for 1 and exile
1 and
2.
2.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so good.
I had Discordant Piper, 1 and a black for a 2/1 zombie satyr. When it dies, create a 0/1 white goat creature token. So I was like, I'd get a goat. Cool. Underworld Charger, which I had in my earlier game with the Planeswalker deck.
Yep.
Because I figured I wouldn't always have my doggy out, so Escape might still work for me every once in a while.
Yeah.
So, not a bad idea. I had the Blight Breath Catobal.
Catobal Bus.
It's expensive for a sealed deck. It's 4 and 2 black for a 3/2. But when it enters the battlefield, target creature an opponent controls gets -X until end of turn, where X is your devotion to black, so that's at minimum -2/2. Because that's the Catobal Bus's.
Yeah.
Yeah. Karametra's Blessing. 1 white, target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. If it's an enchanted creature or enchantment creature, it also gains hexproof and indestructible until end of turn.
Sweet.
Very nice. Triumphant Surge, 3 and a white for an instant. Destroy target creature with power 4 or greater and gain 3 life. Temple Thief, 1 and a black for a 2/2 rogue. Can't be blocked by enchanted creatures or enchantment creatures. Dreadful Apathy. Because that was a real pain in my butt.
It's pacify, but
Yeah.
with the ability to exile. So that's handy.
Yeah, because then you don't want that in a whatever you have made not work. You do not want to put it in a graveyard where it could come back without that aura on it. You want it to go away. Commanding Presence, 3 and a white for an aura. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2 and has first strike. And whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token. So I'd be bringing out lots of little guys.
Yep.
Elspeth's Nightmare. So I had 2 sagas in this deck.
Nice.
I had Elspeth's Nightmare. Destroy target creature an opponent controls with power 2 or less. Target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a non-creature, non-land card from it. That player discards that card. Exile target opponent's graveyard. Not thing from their graveyard. The whole thing.
You have to wait 3 turns to get to it, but man, that's a good...
But nope, you don't get your graveyard. So this was basically like graveyard denial in a way.
Can I say myself? There was a card like that. It was an enchantment.
Mire Triton, 1 and a black for a zombie merfolk with Death Touch. It's a 2/1. When it enters the battlefield, put the top 2 cards of your library into your graveyard and gain 2 life. Indomitable Will, 1 and a white for an aura with flash. Enchant creature gets +1/+2.
It's really good.
Grim Physician, 1 black for a 1/1 zombie, and when it dies, target creature an opponent controls Gets -1/-1 until end of turn. Save that for last. Sunmane Pegasus. It's a 2/3 for 4 with flying, and 1 and a white. It gains vigilance and lifelink until end of turn. Omen of the Sun, which John had. When it enters the battlefield, create 2 1/1 white human soldier creature tokens and gain 2 life. You can sack it to scry. Transcendent Envoy. 1 and a white for a 1/2 griffin with flying, and aura spells cast 1 generic less to cast.
Yes.
Yeah.
Scavenging Harpy. 2 and a black for a 2/1 flyer. When it enters the battlefield, exile target card from an opponent's graveyard. So like I said, graveyard denial at this point. Rise to Glory. 3 a white and a black. Choose 1 or both. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Return target aura card from your graveyard to the battlefield. So again, if I don't have my doggy out, I get stuff back.
Nice.
Yeah.
Myers Grasp, which we saw earlier. Temple Thief, I had 2 of them.
Nice.
Leonin of the Lost Pride.
Yep, I've had a couple of those.
And then Timurit Calls the Dead was my second saga.
Yeah.
And that one, you, for set chapters 1 and 2, put the top 3 cards of your library into your graveyard. Then you may exile a creature or enchantment card from your graveyard. If you do, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. So at least you're getting 2 zombies in for that if you do that both of those chapters.
Yeah.
Chapter 3, you gain X life and scry X, where X is the number of zombies you control. So I had a couple of other zombies in there.
Yeah.
So if I had had a couple of zombies out and made 2 zombies, that would have given me some life gain and a scry.
Yeah.
So the idea was I was bringing out tokens. I was denying you your graveyard and to do graveyard tricks, and then sticking auras on my stuff and making them do things.
So
That was what I built.
my biggest takeaway from this is that escape is way more powerful than I initially thought.
Escape is so
really good.
The
powerful.
reason being, most cast from your graveyard stuff exiles the card when you cast it from your graveyard.
Yes.
You get an effect
flashback,
and then
you get to do it
yeah.
once, but it's gone.
Yeah,
Escape,
that is not the case
You're
here.
exiling other stuff, sure. Yep. But if that thing gets killed and goes back to your graveyard, it can escape again. There's no keeping a good escape card down.
And you're exiling stuff out of your graveyard, like, oh, I have a bunch of lands that,
Yeah, John
you know,
was exiling planes. He was like, I don't know,
I exiled a
planes.
bunch of stuff that, like, I had cast it. It had no escape
Oh, I
cost.
should give my
coming,
land back
it wasn't
to the
coming
store.
back.
Yeah.
It's in my graveyard. It's fodder at that point.
You are.
Because it's not exile creatures from your graveyard.
Yeah.
It's just cards.
Yeah.
I was thinking of
No, it
using
worked
this
really
one.
well.
I got the Soul Guide Lantern. Did you guys get this one?
Oh, I should probably get the lands out of that deck, right?
Yeah. Basically, it's got a sacrifice cost where it sacrifice Soul Guide Lantern, exile each opponent's graveyard.
Nice.
Yeah. Oof.
Nice.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I feel like getting people's graveyards cleared out, if you're playing an escape hate deck, you got to get rid of their graveyards. Their graveyards have to be empty all the time.
Yeah.
And not because everything has escaped, but because you have sent it to the nether realm.
More dead than dead.
Yeah.
Well, thank you both. That was so much fun.
Yeah, it was a
Thank
good time.
you, chat, for joining us. It was
Kill
wonderful
Switch,
having
if you
you
watch
here.
the rest of this later, thank you for joining us. Thank you for following.
Yeah.
Hopefully we will see you again sometime.
It was a fun night,
We don't play Magic that frequently, but maybe you'll join us for some board games.
Yep.
which
And
we do every
Jen,
Friday.
It was awesome seeing you. We'll play something next week. Yeah, the last Friday I won't be here. My workplace has a party, so I'm gonna go to it.
Okay. So yeah, John.
I may come after it.
You've been talking up this Hall of the Mountain King game. I am
yeah.
totally on board if you want to bring that next week.
That'd be fine. It's surprisingly easy to teach, even though it looks complex.
I'm up for it.
Well, yeah, and it's got nice chunky bits. Very nice, like, deluxe bits. I'm excited. But yeah.
All right. Well, good night, everybody. Thank you
everyone.
for joining us. And we will see you again next week. Bye.
See ya.